Morning, 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 morning. We're about to come on the air. About a minute and a half, 2 minutes max. We'll be live on the radio.
We put outcomes first because the whole purpose of anything in life is to get the outcome. So we're not short-sighted. We always look at how can we get to the place that you need to get to. And so we think like a sport is not like the hair. And if I can get somebody well and I can help them see a different perspective on how to get to what they're looking for, that's what we're about.
Consultations when they go in there, no charge for that, right?
Welcome, welcome. Subscribe if you're not subscribing.
Freeze the air we breathe.
Yes, well, yeah, that's true. It is free as the air we breathe, but it's actually a little better because we don't have to worry about any kind of virus.
Exactly right. Richard, welcome aboard. Nice to have you with us. And again, for those that would like to drop by and welcome you personally, you're located at 8271 Sunset Strip in Sunrise. Phone number 954-741-4045. Good luck, and we'll talk tomorrow, all right?
All right, look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
You take care, man.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law
Here we go.
With 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation,
Hey, Lisa.
and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FL3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free.
Yes, yes. That's the number. All right, welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome, one and all. Here we are live again. It's Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. The media panic continues. You know, I got to ask you, what is the media... Is the media being responsible? Let's just say it, right? Is the media being responsible? Really been going slowly the last couple of weeks, but the weekend really hit a high point with the coronavirus stories. And I was reading a story today. There's a school in New York who's closing to students. There hasn't been one case in the story. We've got some more deaths today, all from that nursing home facility in Washington State. Almost every single death is related to that nursing home facility, which has got awful and terrible for the people involved. But come on. I have never seen a nationwide panic like this. I was at the grocery store yesterday. There was no rubbing alcohol. And also, they're running out of aloe vera gel because, you know, I saw this on MSNBC over the weekend. Since you can't get the sanitation wipe or whatever that stuff is, the little gel that everybody wants to buy, the sanitizing gel, they're talking on television, at least I saw over the weekend, on how to make your own with rubbing alcohol mixed with aloe vera gel. And I didn't go to the store yesterday to buy that. I was at the health product aisle buying some Band-Aids. And when I was buying Band-Aids, I noticed no rubbing alcohol, just empty. And I went and looked where the aloe vera gel is, gone. Toilet paper is in short supply. The toilet paper crisis, this is what's crazy. Toilet paper is in such short supply. I've actually loaded up on toilet paper. I bought extra, as they say, toilet tissue, bathroom tissue. I've loaded up on TP. I haven't bought this much TP since I was in high school, and we were using it for other things, which I'm not going to confess to you right now, but you can only imagine. But no, the reason that I loaded up on toilet paper yesterday is because it's in such short supply. That's something you really don't want to run out of. But I was at the grocery store yesterday, and the area where the toilet paper was, the huge empty areas, and I thought to myself, well, I better load up, and that stuff's expensive. Now, of course, it won't go to waste eventually. But man, people are going to have to start getting bidets installed in their house if the TP shortage of 2020 continues. It's like I remember the blizzard of 77, 78. I remember Hurricane Andrew. Are we at a point now where we're going to tell our grandkids about the great TP shortage of 2020? You know, what's going on with the coronavirus scare, and that's what's really going on here. You know what it's almost like? It's a fad. It's like the ice bucket challenge. The media, the mainstream media in this country, are irresponsible broadcasters. They are panicking people beyond imagination. And it's caused a nationwide panic. This is the flu, people. This is the flu. And of course, as with all flus, there are certain groups, mostly the elderly, but and people with certain types of pre-existing conditions. But this is no different than any other flu. We are in the flu season, and what really is going on in the minds of ridiculous people in this country? I'm not talking about the media, but ridiculous people in this country. They're trying to eradicate the spread of the flu, which is an impossibility unless we all live in total isolation booths. I've never seen anything like this before. I really haven't. And, you know, big debate in this country about the relevance of television news. Is television news still relevant? And I know most of us think, no, I get my news and information from Twitter. I get my news and information from Breitbart, or HuffPost, or wherever you get it. Well, that may be true, but like it or not, the television has a major influence over all of us because this coronavirus panic is taking place because of the television news media. And I got to tell you, I was appalled at what happened on Fox News Channel last night. The President of the United States is coming out with the Vice President of the United States, with all of the top experts, including the Surgeon General, on the latest updates on the coronavirus. And I saw that it was coming on, and I was actually watching it on Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube, but the Right Side Broadcasting feed kept going in and out. And, you know, I've noticed Right Side Broadcasting's feed has not been as reliable as it has been in the past. Last few times I went to watch Right Side Broadcasting. And I'm wondering if the mainstream media people are, when it comes time for an event to happen, are grabbing as much internet data as they can from the Wi-Fi system that they use to try to interfere with their signal. I don't know. So anyway, Right Side Broadcasting, their feed was just cutting in and out on YouTube. So I said, well, I hate to do it, but I'm going to go to Fox. I turned over to Fox, and they had the Bernie Sanders town hall on. I couldn't believe it, the Bernie Sanders town hall. So I watched the president and the vice president's coronavirus major urgent breaking news press conference yesterday on CNN. And Fox News, shame on them. Boy, shame on them. They're breaking news. We've got a tweet, and we're going to read it, you know. As much as they overuse the break, did I wake you up with that? As much as they use the breaking news sounder on Fox News, they have been hyping coronavirus over the weekend like nothing I've seen since September 11th on Fox News Channel. There's a major press conference with the president and vice president of the United States, and they're carrying Bernie Sanders. Now, I got to tell you, you're going to get free crap, and you can go to school, and it'll cost you nothing, and you'll eat for free, and have health food for free, and have, you know, health care for free. And I couldn't believe what I was watching on Fox News. I didn't watch it long because I was out of there. Right back to CNN, where I had to go, the Clinton News Network. It's appalling what Fox News did, not carrying that press conference. They had it at the bottom of the screen. They had it at the bottom of the screen, right-hand bottom of the screen. It's disgusting. Shame on Fox News. Every time Fox News, I say, well, let me give them a break. I like Bill Hemmer. I think he's a good guy. Let me give Fox News a break. They pull a stunt like that. But this is the flu, people. This is the flu. Okay? And people get the flu, and they mostly get it from other people. And all the experts, including Dr. Oz, Dr. Drew, and other important and leading experts in these areas, tell us that this flu is less deadly than the regular flu strains that we deal with. There's always different types of flu strains. We were talking yesterday a little bit about the flu shot. I haven't had the flu shot in years. I haven't had the flu shot in many years because it makes me sick every time I get the flu shot. And a guy called me yesterday about the flu shot. He hasn't gotten it since he was in the military when he was required to get the flu shot. And, we were having this discussion, and he said someone giving him the flu shot when he was in the service told him that the flu shot, it's for last year's flu and what strain they think is going to be the big strain this year. Oh, okay. So I don't know. They say, well, you still will get the flu, but you won't have it as bad. I don't know. My experience with the flu shot, it's made me incredibly ill. My daughter on 2 occasions has gotten the flu shot, and she got very, very ill. About 7 or 8 years ago, I was talked into her getting it. She got that where they did it in the nose back then. I don't know if they still do that. She was so ill. It broke my heart. She was young. Her pediatrician pushed it on us, and I promised my daughter, never again will I have you get the flu shot because it made you so sick. And I talk to her about that all the time. And then a couple years ago, about a year and a half ago, she went to her doctor without me, and they pushed the flu shot on her. She got it, and she got sick as hell, caused her all kinds of problems. And, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you I do not get the flu shot. I just don't get it. But this is the flu. People get the flu. People get colds. And what a terrible thing is about to happen when we start getting the testing of people, this mass testing of people. We're going to find out probably thousands upon thousands, many thousands have the coronavirus. And that's going to cause another panic. But like all the doctors say, most people have it, got the sniffles, sore throat, regular flu. They ride it out and boom, they don't even know they got this and they move on. But we're going to get all these positives and get this huge number. And it's also going to cause another panic. I believe the media are being irresponsible broadcasters. What are your thoughts? 1-888-GO-CANE 1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Let's take our break. Our first break of the day. It's Tuesday. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
Does your life insurance policy only pay someone if you die?
I know it's
life
ridiculous.
Insurance policies allow you to access your benefits even while you were still alive. Due to changes in the insurance industry, all life insurance carriers in 2020 have adjusted their premiums to your advantage. Life insurance rates have been lowered.
Make sure you
due to the
subscribe.
Updated mortality tables. People are living longer in America, and that means life insurance premiums are lower. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors 954-753-8080 to learn more and for a free review of your existing life insurance policy. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Feeling old, tired, broken down?
Yeah, it's called a
This is
panic,
Dr.
Michael.
Mitchell Matez of the Boca
It's called a
Raton
panic.
Center for Age Management, and I can fix it.
I've got Lysol over here.
2005,
I always have
we
Lysol
introduced
here.
South Florida to the amazing implantable hormone pellet. These safe and effective pellets will reverse the signs and symptoms of the aging process and leave you feeling fantastic. Energy, sex drive, and weight
Steve
control
Kane Show.
are just a phone call away. If you want to
Hey,
feel
Mike.
good again, if you want to look good again, and you want to function well again, call me, Dr. Matez, at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490. Or visit our website at hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Soul Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just
All right. Yes. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. The most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere. Yeah, so the great toilet paper shortage of 2020. Right now, in my car, in the trunk of my car, I have 3 huge packages of TP just because I don't want them to run out. We need it in the house. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's our number. 888-465-2631. Your thoughts on anything involving coronavirus? Also, are the media being irresponsible here? Are they being irresponsible broadcasters? Are they causing a panic? I'll give you a quick example before I go to the phones. Now I didn't fall for the toilet paper problems. I just want to make sure that the local store doesn't run out. We like Charmin Soft. Okay, and I know that's what we use. Anybody have your favorite TP? You can call me with that too. We like Charmin Soft, and they're running a little low on Charmin Soft, so I don't want to have to use like the Walmart brand of toilet paper, which I might as well use sandpaper. Might as well go over to Ace Hardware over in Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, our sponsors, and pick up sandpaper and use that if I'm going to use the Walmart brand of toilet paper. So we want to make sure we have Charmin Soft, okay? It's true. My wife told me that. Yes, it's true. It's true. But anyway, listen, where was I? Yeah, so that's why I have the excess toilet paper in my car right now. In fact, I bought it yesterday, and I came home, and all the neighbors were out doing stuff in the yard, and I left all the toilet paper in the car because I didn't want the neighbors to see me come in with these huge packages of toilet paper like I'm some nutcase during this panic. But I forgot what I was going to say, but that's okay. I'm getting like Joe Biden, right? Hey, if you cannot know your own name and be nominated for president, I can forget where I was going before I talked about the toilet paper crisis. But anyway, let's go to Mike in Louisiana. Hey, Mike in Louisiana.
How you doing, Brian? As far as the media treatment of this thing, it's part and parcel of what they do. If it's not this, it's Zika virus, or if it's not this, it's H1N1.
Don't let's not forget Ebola.
Ebola, yeah. I mean, it's a crisis, and they treat it as a crisis. And what did Rahm Emanuel say about a crisis? Never let a good crisis go to waste.
That's correct.
So that's what they're and yes, it's unconscionable what they're doing, but they've been doing this for how long now?
Yeah. Do you have? Hey, Mike. Do you and your family have enough toilet paper to get you through the crisis, because it's running in very short supply?
Yeah, we've got it now.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not like you can go to Walmart or wherever and get a thing of 12 rolls of toilet paper.
Well, the toilet paper shortage, there is a shortage if you go to the stores. I don't know what's going on in Louisiana, but here in Florida, it's in short supply, and the stores, when you go there, huge empty areas. In fact, that YouTube family, the Holderness family, did an entire video on how there was no toilet paper at their local Target. They did a whole music video on it that they uploaded yesterday. Here's the thing about the toilet paper. Right now, there's a shortage because people like me go and see empty shelves, so we are buying extra, right? So we don't run out. But what happened over the weekend, I was talking about this a little bit on the radio yesterday, people are in a panic over coronavirus because of the media, and the media has them panicked, and there's not much they can do other than wash their hands. But if you go to the store, if you buy a lot of toilet paper, it's like you've done something to prepare. I've bought extra. I've got enough toilet paper for a week or 2 weeks. I've done something to prepare if I'm under quarantine from the coronavirus. And that's why over the weekend there were empty shelves of toilet paper. It was people are really in a state of anxiety because of the irresponsible mainstream media over coronavirus. So when they go to the store and they buy extra toilet paper that get them through a couple of weeks, it's an anxiety reducer. They okay, I've done something now to prepare. I've bought this toilet paper, and it relieves their anxiety a little bit. What the media are doing is awful.
Right. You know, and that's the thing. But you know, like I said, it's not like, well, what's it gonna be next? I mean, we know we have a feeling that this is probably gonna burn itself out, at least for the time being. This whole virus, this thing is gonna burn itself out. What's gonna be next with the media?
There'll always be. Listen, everything with Trump, with the media, has been a crisis. Stormy Daniels, the Mueller report, Soleimani, Khashoggi. Everything's been a crisis until it wasn't anymore, and nothing ever happened, and it fizzled out. And this is a news cycle that will fizzle out. March is the end of March is the end of flu season. So, when flu season is over, flus reduce. The only problem is when they start testing people in mass, we're going to get a lot of positive test results, and there's going to be a huge number that comes out there, and the media are going to panic people over that. Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to talk about, what I was mentioning before about the panic in the media when I started talking about the TP crisis of 2020. On MSNBC, that they don't do this anymore, I don't think, but on September 11th, for many years, they reran their live coverage of September 11th for several years after 9/11. And I watched it a few times. And there was a woman who used to be on MSNBC. She's jumped around different places. Ashley Banfield. She was a white anchor with smart glasses on. And she was live in the streets of New York City during the attack before we knew what was going on. And she was running down a street live on NBC television. Not MSNBC, NBC. She's in front of a school. And this is when people are running in the streets on September 11th during the attack. She goes up to a firefighter and she's yelling, "Are there bombs in the sewers? We're getting reports that there are bombs in the sewers!" Live on NBC. And I remember watching that live because I was flipping through every channel, NBC News. I'm thinking, is she out of her mind? She's in a panic. She's causing a panic. People are running through the streets, and she's screaming about bombs in sewers. This was Ashley Banfield, NBC News on September 11th. They reran this on MSNBC for several years after, during their all-day coverage. It would start with Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer probably stopped them from running that because he was on so much of it, because it was during the Today Show. And what the media are doing right now is irresponsible because they're causing a nationwide panic when there is no need for one.
Right, and that's the thing. You look at, I mean, why would she do that? Again, that's we were in the middle of a crisis because we were being attacked and all that stuff, and
yeah,
and she's going off on a tangent here talking about bombs and
on 9/11, yeah, on 9/11 while the people are running the street. That's correct, because the media, there's too much media now. And because there's so much media, people get on the air that really should not be on the air. Back in the days when you had the 3 news networks and just 3 channels before CNN, you had NBC Nightly News, ABC Nightly News, and CBS Evening News with whoever at the time. There weren't very many on-air news jobs. So the people that got those jobs were top-tiered responsible people. Now they have the 24-hour news cycle. They have to fill not just with anchors, but with fake journalist pundits, and people get on air that are irresponsible, no talent, and unqualified, and they're passed off as journalists. There's just too much news, too much media, too many people on there. That's why someone in the chat called it a clown show. That's exactly why it's a clown show.
even with Tim Russert and people like that, Tim Russert was a well-respected guy,
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't, they're just, because back even in the Tim Russert days, there wasn't as much time to fill in the news cycle, and they had a higher quality of people. It's just like now when they have they come out with a new football league, like they had that XFL came back last year for a couple weeks. The and I heard there's a similar thing going on with basketball. I don't know, but I don't follow basketball, but when they come out with like the XFL, there's coaches and players that played in college. Maybe some of them even had some connection to the pros, but it's not the same, is it? They're not the top tier players that you get in the NFL. You know what I mean? When football expands, there's not enough top talented, top tier qualified football players to have another professional league other than the NFL. And you see that every time a new league pops up. Same thing with the television news.
You know, basically this started with CNN when CNN first came out, you know.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of people that maybe didn't deserve to be on the air, but because of what they wanted to do, they were on these people.
Well, you know, I reported a story once for CNN many years ago in the 90s. And this is a true story. I have told this before, but I don't think I've talked about it much. Most of you probably don't know this. Many years ago in the mid-90s, I don't remember what year, this was like the early to mid-90s, there was a workplace shooting in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. My recollection is it was a garbage man, sanitation worker, shot 4 people and himself. And this was the radio station that I started at with Steve, the old 1400 WFTL for you old-time radio listeners. And I was on Monday through Friday. I did a live show from 3 a.m. till 6 a.m., Monday through Friday. And the shooting happened early in the morning. And I got a call. We were a CNN affiliate, which meant at the top of the hour we carried CNN. I got a call around 5 in the morning from CNN in Atlanta, CNN headquarters, because we carried CNN. We were a CNN affiliate. And they asked me if we could have one of our reporters do a live update on CNN as to this shooting that took place in Fort Lauderdale. And I said, well, we don't have reporters here. It's a talk radio station, and I'm the only one here. I'm doing it overnight. I'm the overnight host. I'm the only one here. And they said, that's okay, you can report. And I said, I don't know anything about it. It just happened. Only thing I know is what I've heard on CNN at the top of the hour news. You know what I mean? They said, that's okay. So they did a recorded report with me that aired on CNN, CNN radio on hundreds of radio stations around the world, and also on CNN International for several hours before they could get a reporter live on the scene from one of the local TV stations. And they had because I was at the radio station, we didn't have cameras, and this was before the internet. I couldn't Skype. There was no Skype. There was no internet yet. And they had a graphic on this TV screen of the state of Florida with a little dot, Fort Lauderdale, and it had my name, CNN reporter Brian Craig from CNN affiliate WFTL in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, reporting. And they recorded me going over just what I heard on television, on their own air, on CNN about the shooting. And that ran for several hours on CNN television, CNN headline news, CNN International, and on however many radio stations nationwide that carried CNN news at the top and bottom of the hour. I was a reporter. That's what I may have been the George Washington of fake news. You know what I mean? And I know you laugh, but that happened, and I'm sure it still happens. But that was crazy to me. Now, you know, back then we didn't have, you know, I didn't have a cell phone back then, so I don't have a screenshot of it on TV. But I talked about it on the air at that time. And some other people at the radio station got upset that I did the report and they didn't do it. You know, and I said, well, you weren't here. I was here alone, you know, but all the other air people pissed off. But was I a reporter? Did I have any information? Was I fake news? I think I mean, I didn't say anything that was untrue. I had some vague facts about the the shooting that had happened that morning. But come on, I was like 20 years old, 22 years old or so. I don't remember what year it was. I mean, was that fake news? Yeah, I think it was. I think it was fake news. So I was a reporter for a morning. That's what's that's what happened. And so I know, and it tells you what the news is all about.
You look at how they report, and then you have all these pundits, so-called pundits, and they hire people like Comey and all these people that got fired by the president because.
Oh yeah, now they're pundits. How many pundits on CNN may be indicted? Mike in Louisiana, I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We'll take more calls after the break. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. That's right. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid
Steve Kane
epidemic.
Show.
In South Florida alone, someone suffers an
Hey,
overdose
Oban.
every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, mom and dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless,
That's
I'm
right,
here
Chuck.
to tell you
Trump
that help
2020,
is
baby.
available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code
I think it is.
523-4325. This is his personal cell phone.
I mean, it exists.
561-523-4325.
The fake news aspect is the danger
If
and the
your loved one
impact.
refuses
Would be
treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Welcome back. 38 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Let's go to Boca. You're on the radio.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Micah.
Hey, Michael. What's up?
I have a theory, and I want to see if you agree with me. The liberals are probably looking at this whole thing, obviously, as a gift to them because they've been trying everything they possibly can to bring Trump down. And as long as this corona panic goes on, the economy crashes, the stock markets crash, people panic, and they think, of course, this is going to bring Trump down. I don't think they're ever going to stop this panic talk up all the way up to the election, even if things are looking better. You know that this virus is spreading faster than the normal flu. That's because I was saying that's pretty much the difference between the normal flu and this one is that it just is more contagious.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. Excuse me. I don't know. Well, the numbers are going to go up when they start testing people, but I don't know if it's more contagious or not. I see this cruise ship that they were calling the virus ship. It was, my goodness, as it was coming in live under the Golden Gate yesterday and everything. How many people were sick on that ship? Crew mostly. There were thousands of people on that ship in close quarters. So if it was more contagious, there would have been hundreds of people sick on that ship. I did. I'm going to play some of that later. What'd you pick up from that?
One he said, I thought he said it was like 30% more contagious. That's what
Maybe it is, but what does that mean? I don't know.
See, that's what I mean. What it means to me is as long as the numbers keep going up of people getting it, and they said the likeliness of you dying from it is so low unless you've got, complications as a senior or something. But the thing, and just take precautions.
Well, is the media being irresponsible?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're being responsible is because they know
Irresponsible.
they're going to, they think that it makes Trump look.
Well, the media got busted yesterday. The media got busted in a major incident of fake news. They're trying to blame everything on the Daily Mail, but it wasn't just the Daily Mail. Did you watch President Trump's press conference yesterday with Pence? Okay. He came out with Pence with all the experts, all the medical experts, including the Surgeon General. The president made some remarks and left the vice president there with all the experts. And when he left, they were shouting questions at him, all kinds of questions. One of the questions was, "Have you been tested, Mr. President?" And he just kept walking like he would. So what's the story in the news? President Trump refuses to answer whether or not he's been tested for coronavirus. Well, that may be technically accurate. He did refuse to answer that and other questions. But what are they implying by that? You know, it's more the fake news panic that they're pushing.
Absolutely. This is their new impeachment hoax. This is the.
Oh, yes, Trish Regan. You sound like Trish Regan, except you're not as good looking. I'm sure. I don't know what you look like, but, you know.
They're going to keep it. They're not going to stop because as long as they keep this panic up, it looks bad, but there ain't no way Trump's going to.
Well, and they started over the weekend. They're making a move to get Trump to cancel his rallies. And, this one guy at CPAC, they're using that to try to push. And then Gates is in self-quarantine. Cruz is in self-quarantine. The other, I don't know why all these guys are making a big to-do about being in self-quarantine. They're in Congress. Nobody knows what you're doing anyway. Just go home for a few days. I don't know why. They're all trying to be heroes. I have self-quarantined. I'm Senator Ted Cruz. Talk about me all morning. Congressmen are disgusting people. And do they have to make such an announcement that they're in a self-quarantine?
That's the responsible thing to.
It's becoming a fad now. Ted Cruz did it first. Now we got 3. They're all Republicans, and it's like you're not anyone unless you're in self-quarantine.
Yeah, don't do anything to play into the liberal story that's going to just keep people fearful. It's just ridiculous.
It is. Are you washing your hands more? Yeah, me too.
No, I work on the ships.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who. Oh, yeah, I know who you are now. I've met you before. I know who you are now. Yeah.
But what is going to happen with the ships? What's the precautions that they're doing? And they said that what they're doing is, if anybody goes to a ship right now that's coughing or sneezing, you're not getting on.
Well, that's almost standard. If you show up on a cruise ship, yeah, you do. You fill out a form, but if you. And I'm talking pre-coronavirus. If this was a year ago, you show up to a ship, there is a form you fill out that it asks. But if you're showing signs of cold or flu, they're not gonna let you board, in any day of the year. And cruise ships, they're focusing in on cruise ships because you've got a large sample size. This one in California had almost 4,000 people on it. So anytime you have a large sample size, you're going to have people that have all kinds of things. Let's do AIDS tests on everyone on the cruise ship and find out how many people are HIV on an average cruise ship. I don't know, but I imagine you'll find a few because it's a large sample size of people. It will. Ties down. Well, just if anyone's wondering, the Steve Kane Trump 2020 victory cruise is set to go. There's been no change. We're not, we're 9 months out from our cruise. We've made no changes. We're going.
It feels pretty positive right now because they're taking all the precautions. They're going above and beyond, which they've always done. It's inevitable that people get sick on a ship. It just happens. But they're probably one of the safest industries because they've always tried to maintain a health-free zone because they know what happens if people get sick on it.
Absolutely. By the way, I give you a tip because now I know who you are, and I know you do like Facebook Live with your piano playing. I don't know. Are you on YouTube? Okay, send me your YouTube channel because music on YouTube, if you're playing live, you know about all the rules. You can play anything live. I mean, you could do, is huge on YouTube. Yeah, you can do it if you do it live.
To Carlisle and all over the place. I'm over in Palm Beach and all that.
Oh, send me the link to your YouTube. How do people find you on YouTube?
Michael Massey, M-A-S-C-I.
Michael Massey on YouTube. All right, guys, check out Michael Massey on YouTube. How do you spell your last name again?
It's M-A-S-C-I.
M-A-S-C-I. Okay, Michael, take care. All right, take care. Yeah, I've been here before. He's a good guy. I remember him. All right, listen, if you're on hold, stand by. 45 minutes after the hour. It's Tuesday. I'm Brian Craig. You know, I am in the building alone right now. That's right. I'm the only one here in the studio. I guess, am I in isolation? I guess I'm in isolation every morning when I come to work in the studio. All right, let's take our break. 46 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. Don't you go anywhere.
So you've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954.
America backs Biden. I mean, do you want to get blocked and muted? I don't know. I don't know.
Corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for that one, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, Friendly Tire in Margate. I've been a customer for over a decade over there at Friendly Tire in Margate. And anytime I stop by Friendly Tire in Margate, you see all kinds of vehicles. You see high-end sports cars. I see Corvettes. I see Jaguars. I've seen Maseratis in there at Friendly Tire. And I've also seen rust buckets that I don't know how they made it in. I mean, everyone goes to Friendly Tire. And I'll tell you, I see a lot of commercial vehicles have been going, because of the Steve Kane Show, have been going over to Friendly Tire in Margate. So no matter what you drive, a high-end sports car, a car with no air conditioning that's a rust bucket, or you have commercial vehicles of any size, call Friendly Mike over at Friendly Tire. He can help you, and the prices are out of this world low. Online, friendlytire.net, and Friendly Mike's number, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445, or just stop in. You don't have to call. You can stop right in. The address for Friendly Tire is listed at stevekaneshow.com. I'm going to give it to you now, but in case you miss it, 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate. 5415 Northwest 15th Street, Margate. And Northwest 15th Street is just north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, Mike and Boca, how are you?
Another Mike in Boca. Two Mikes from Boca in a row. We got a run on Mikes in Boca. Hey, Mike in Boca.
Friday, I said that saying I'm over corona hysteria. It's ridiculous because you can be on Facebook and you get notifications. And I'm just so tired of it.
Well, I'm about to sneeze.
I'm listening to Dr. Drew, and I'm listening to Dr. Oz and my doctor.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I just sneezed. I turned my mic off to sneeze because the air conditioner, every time the air conditioner pops on, it blows down on my way and it makes me sneeze. And, people, if you're out somewhere and someone sneezes now, oh my goodness, holy smokes. God forbid if someone coughs and you catch it on video, it'll go viral. They're accusing people of assault and things like this from coughing and sneezing.
You know why in Australia, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's some videos of people fighting over toilet paper. It's not a Britain thing.
Yeah, I saw a very funny parody video on YouTube from Australia, and it was someone driving their car through a neighborhood cruising for drugs, but you found out they were really looking for toilet paper, and this guy came up, he had rolls of toilet. Have you guys seen that, where he's got the rolls of toilet paper he's selling on the side of the road? Yeah.
See the Scarface pictures, they put toilet paper instead of cocaine on the desk.
Do you have enough toilet paper to get through the great toilet paper shortage of 2020?
I believe so. I really haven't counted my toilet paper, but I think I'm good.
Yeah, okay. You want to make sure you don't want to run out.
Bernie Sanders all last night?
No, not for a second. Well, I talked about this at 6. I'll recap for people just tuning in. The president came out with the vice president and all the coronavirus government team, top people, for a press conference and some announcements yesterday. Everyone carried it live except Fox. Fox did not cut away from the Bernie Sanders town hall. And they had the president's thing in the bottom corner of the screen muted, and they had Bernie talking. I couldn't believe it. Was appalling. That was, as
I think I kind of noticed yesterday in Fox, they were kind of pulling back Corona scene. They actually didn't talk about Italy for around 8, around 7.
I noticed that too, and I noticed that too yesterday. Fox Business as well. And you know what I think happened at Fox? On the weekend, you don't have the senior people in, including management. And I think a lot of things happened over the weekend, and then management came in on Monday morning at Fox News and said, "This is crazy. What's going on here over the weekend?" And I think they clamped down on them a little bit. But Fox News runs that breaking news sounder for years for nothing. The president comes out yesterday with the vice president and the entire team, including the Surgeon General, on coronavirus, and they carry Bernie. They didn't cut away. That's insane.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad because I'm getting tired of listening to it. If you have a common sense, then just follow your instincts. What your parents told you, what your aunts and uncles told you. Stay clean, wash your hands. If you have a deprived immune system, you already know what to do. And if you're over a certain age, when you get sick, it takes longer to recover.
Dr. Drew, I like Dr. Drew. He's always been good, but he's been kind of out lately. He's been so down and out. He was on The Masked Singer this year, which really shocked me. I never guessed Dr. Drew. And now he's having a comeback because he's doing these interviews talking about the flu and coronavirus.
Yeah. One more thing. Did you watch Picard last Thursday?
Of course I watched it. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was a little bit, I don't know, last episode seemed a little bit dragged down.
Let me tell you. I'll tell you what happened with that episode of Picard this week. You're talking about the one with Troy and Riker. Okay, they filmed this pretty much the entire season, and they had some test screenings that went very poorly. And that episode, they went back and shot the entire. It was not even planned with Riker and Troy, and edited another episode into it. The stuff with Hugh and everything. It's really a garbage show. But I mean, I want to continue to watch it because it's called Star Trek. They could have a.
But I thought it was a little that boring, but
it was. Star Trek Picard is awful. There's only a couple episodes left, and they're still doing setup. It's awful. And I don't buy this act that Riker is fat, living on some planet somewhere and not shaving like some wild man with Troy. It makes no sense. he should be he should have been the admiral in Starfleet that wouldn't let Picard go on the mission or something. But I'll tell you this: the last episode of Star Trek Discovery last season left me angry. I was angry. I'm so angry. I will watch anything that has Star Trek in the title. If Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden called their debate Star Trek, the next debate, I'd watch it. I'm serious. I would. Yeah, I would. All right, take care, man. All right, Richie, the bus driver, you're on the radio.
Yeah, good morning. You're not going to like what I'm going to say, and I hope you let me say it. First of all, the last cruise when we went on.
No, I'm not going to let you say it. I mean, you got to, come on. Yeah. What do you mean he's losing the battle? What? Okay, tell me what President Trump is losing.
Well, they just closed up Italy. They're closing up all this stuff. The news is pounding into everyone's head, and there's no rebuttal. It's not.
Listen here. This is the thing, okay? Not because of coronavirus. They blame everything on him. They blame the snow on him. They blame everything on Trump.
Supply chains and believe it or not, if you just are being totally irresponsible.
I'm being irresponsible? How am I being irresponsible?
Because you're sitting there, you will refuse. I'm not saying that Trump is wrong, okay? But I'm telling you, he's losing the fight, and you don't see it.
No, he's not. And I'll tell No, he's not. After the top of the hour, I'll get into details about that. But give me a specific as opposed to just a general thing. What part of the fight is Trump losing specifically?
Every 5 minutes on every news station, they're attacking that there's no testing kits, there's no this, there's no that, and the people, and believe it or not, you said, well, you made a statement that 30% of the cruise people, I don't know what that's all about, that they're infected. They're going to all get over it. It's the older people that are over 70.
Yes. Almost, they had a couple more deaths yesterday, I think 3. Almost every death is from that same nursing home in Washington.
Around with the stuff in your system, going to visit somebody in a nursing home or something like that. It is transferable, and it's...
Well, when when I'm sick, I give you an example with me. Years ago, many years ago, Neil Rogers passed away. Okay, and Neil Rogers was in the hospital, and we were friends. Steve, old friends. I'm old friends with Neil Rogers and others. And Steve and Craig Worthing and I, we were contacted to go see Neil Rogers in the hospital. This is the week that he died, maybe the week before he died. He was in the hospital in Plantation. And I didn't go. And I didn't go because I was sick. I had a cold or a flu at the time. I don't remember what it was. I had a cold or a flu, and it wasn't that bad, but I told Steve, I said I'd love to go say goodbye and see Neil, because we knew he was dying. But if I went there and he got sick because of me, I would, so I didn't go, and I missed an opportunity to see Neil Rogers. So people always have flus, Richie. This is no different than any other flu.
Right now, how do you feel right now?
I feel great.
What happens if you have the bug in you right now and you still feel great? Because most people are going to be like you. They're going to feel great.
But Richie, people all the time have flus and colds, and life goes on. This is no different than any other cold or flu.
And I think this is different because in other words, the incubation period is very catching.
Richie, what they're trying to do, there's these ridiculous stories of having sporting events and things without crowds. My goodness, I saw today Pearl Jam. I saw this story today, Pearl Jam. You know what, Richie? I got a break. I looked at the clock. After the break, I'll respond to everything you said. No, I know, but there's a reason why. I'll tell you the real reason, so we'll talk about it. After the break, I'll respond to everything Richie had to offer. My name is Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Listen, I want to hear from all of you. Your thoughts on everything we're talking about involving coronavirus, the media, how you feel, what are you doing? Are you afraid? Are you not afraid? Is the media being irresponsible, responsible? Is President Trump losing? I'm going to respond to some of these things when we get back. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll take that break, and we'll be back.
3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
We want to proudly welcome a new sponsor to the Steve Kane Show, and it's Ace Hardware. Not just Ace Hardware, but two special Ace Hardware stores in our area. The first is Ace Hardware, located at 365 South Federal Highway in Deerfield Beach, just a quarter mile south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of Federal Highway. And Beach Ace Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, half a block west of A1A. If you own a house or condo, you would do yourself a favor to visit one or both of these special stores. There is such a difference shopping in these stores compared to the depot type stores. Service and product selection is what it's all about, and they have a great selection in all their departments that will save you from running around from store to store. And you can get help from their employees who have the knowledge to always put you on the right track to get any project done, large or small. They have happy customers because of the way they treat their customers, and you will become a happy customer too. The list of what they sell is almost endless, but includes plumbing, electrical, sprinkler parts, fasteners of every kind, garden tools, including the largest selection of steel garden equipment. Plus, they are an authorized steel repair center. Let's not forget Benjamin Moore custom blended paints, major brand power tools, including Craftsman, Weber barbecue grills, plus other top-notch brands that are delivered to your home with free assembly. They have the largest selection of key blanks, many down to the color you choose. Even the key fob remote for your doors are sold at these stores, priced lower than the car dealer. Screens are custom made. Glass is cut to size. I could go on, but you get the idea. They will make your life easier and save you time and money by recommending the right products for your job. Again, the two Ace Hardware locations are Ace Hardware at 365 South Federal Highway, Deerfield Beach, just a quarter mile south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of Federal Highway, and Beach Ace Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, half a block west of A1A. Or call with any questions, 954-531-6265, 954-531-6265. But make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888.
Yes. All right, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. Oh, man, it's Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. We are talking about a lot of things here. We're talking about the media's, whether or not they're being responsible in the media or irresponsible so far as the coronavirus coverage. We're talking about the toilet paper shortage of 2020 and much more. You know, there's a lot of panic going on. There's a story that Pearl Jam has canceled their tour. And let me see if I can get the story pulled up. Hold on, let me look it up, because this is ridiculous. And by the way, I'm a fan of Pearl Jam. Let me see here. Here's the story. CNN. Seattle-based rock band Pearl Jam is postponing the U.S. and Canadian dates of its upcoming tour because of coronavirus. In a series of tweets on Monday night, the music group said that the first leg of their 2020 tour has been postponed due to concerns over the virus. The first show was scheduled March 18th in Toronto, with dates to follow in 13 Canadian and U.S. cities. The band's website lists all dates as canceled through the end of April. Okay. I'm a fan of Pearl Jam. I mean, right now, just because I mentioned Pearl Jam, in my head, I'm hearing Even Flow. I'm not going to sing. Even Flow. And Jeremy. Although in today's world, can they play Jeremy? Here's what I want to know about Pearl Jam. I don't know. It's not addressed in the stories because I looked this morning before I came to work. What were the pre-sales like on this tour? What was it like? Were they selling tickets at an expected rate or less than expected rate? I'm asking. Is it possible? Is it possible? I'm asking you guys this because this is being reported all over the place. All of a sudden, Pearl Jam. When's the last time you heard Pearl Jam in the news? I haven't heard Pearl Jam in the news since they destroyed their career. Pearl Jam destroyed their career. They were the top grunge band at the height of, well, number 2, because you had Nirvana. Well, there was Pearl Jam and Nirvana. And Pearl Jam decided on their concert tours, at the peak of their fame, celebrity, and hit songs, they were not going to allow tickets to be sold through Ticketmaster for their concerts, which was the only way to buy tickets in the 90s. So they really couldn't tour. And they destroyed themselves. They destroyed their careers, and they've never recovered from it. And I'm a fan of Pearl Jam. So is it possible that the promoters of Pearl Jam's tour, that this is like a relief to them? They've got an excuse to save face to cancel a concert that wasn't selling advance tickets? I don't know. But no one in the media seems to want to know the answer to that question, because what they want to promote is fear. And they want people to be fearful. They want people to be frightened. They want people to be in a state of anxiety and panic, which I know that's kind of the same thing, if not the same thing. So they don't want to get into that. Maybe they did sell out, but maybe they didn't. And the promoters are like, wow, now we have an excuse. We can cancel the tour. We weren't selling tickets. I don't know. But nobody in the press, even though this story is being reported everywhere, that one question wasn't asked of Pearl Jam or the promoters. They're just writing a story based on a series of tweets. It's not a complete news story. When I was on my high school newspaper, if I turned that story in without the part I just showed, my teacher, Mr. Ogle, he would have handed me back and said, Brian, you got to go get some more sourcing on this. We can't print this. You're reaching all kinds of conclusions here. You got to find out some answers. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Morning, Brian. How you doing? Steve Royal Farm.
Hey.
Get called out, have Trump become a patent, shut the borders. Tell him he's doing it to save America from the coronavirus, shut the borders, and watch the Democrats start screaming that he's gone too far, and then the president sets him up and going, see, I want to save America from this deadly virus. And these Democrats couldn't care less about you people. Yeah. What's going on with Fox News not carrying the president's press conference with Pence on this yesterday, but carrying Bernie Sanders' town hall instead? I think what's happened is Fox News has got too comfortable with the pro-Trump audience, and I think just like the husband who's married to the beautiful wife, and he goes out and cheats because he figures it's this cheese pizza and there's calzone out there or whatever. That's what I think Fox is doing. They're too comfortable. They figure they got the Trump audience locked down. They're going to keep these high ratings, and now they can abuse the audience. They can abuse the audience. You know, let me tell you something here, and this is not a petty thing. Fox has been hyping coronavirus just like all the rest. The president and the vice president came out with the leading teams from the federal government, the leaders from the federal government behind them, including the Surgeon General, who are leading the coronavirus task force, or whatever they're calling it. And for CNN not to cut away and to carry Bernie Sanders, did he say anything new last night? I don't think so. And have the president muted in the bottom right corner of the screen,
is irresponsible of Fox News, especially when they overuse that breaking news sounder so often. That was breaking news yesterday. That was very breaking news, especially with the ship out in San Francisco and everything. That was breaking news, and Fox News didn't want to break news. They wanted to break wind with Bernie.
Well, Fox News, you got to understand two things. One, it's a business. It's the bottom line.
Yeah, but what did I do? I switched to CNN. I give you an example. Mike and Boca, the caller before Richie, he started asking me about the new Star Trek Picard show. Other than me, Mike and Boca, and 3 other people in the audience, everyone else in the audience, they don't care about Star Trek Picard. If I would have continued a discussion on Star Trek Picard and continued it after the top of the hour break, I'd lose people. And it'd be my fault. That's what CNN or that's what Fox News did yesterday. That was stupid of Fox News to carry Bernie Sanders. They could have cut away from Bernie Sanders' town hall and went back to it. It was their event live that they were producing, but they didn't.
And this, the people that work for Fox News associate, party, and their little family outside their real family are other news people. And the majority of the other news people out there are CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC. So they're getting their little world input from those people there. And this is like a coronavirus. It's infected.
I have friends that work at other radio stations that I talk to and text with all the time. Radio talk show hosts, DJs, people like that, news people, okay? And when we talk, we don't talk about what we're doing on the air. We gossip about the industry, Like I'm getting a lot of calls from people asking me if I know what's going on with Joyce Kaufman, for example, lately. That's my phone's been blowing up the last couple of weeks with text messages from people, and phone calls and stuff about that. We gossip about what's going on in the business and at different stations. We don't talk about what we're doing that never comes up. We never talk about what we're doing on the air, never. But these news people, I guess they do because they think they're changing the world.
Well, Fox News, like I said, they've gotten too comfortable with the large audience of Trump supporters, and now they're going to go after the rest of the people out there, which is going to be a very...
Do you have enough toilet paper to get through this crisis, this shortage of TP?
I figured out, Brian, why toilet paper is being sold everywhere, and it's being sold out. You ready?
Yeah.
After that, I'll hang up. Because every time somebody hears someone sneeze, they do you know what.
No. There's 2 reasons. I've got the back of my car right now, I have 3 huge things of toilet paper. And it's what I was talking about in the first hour. There's 2 reasons there's a toilet paper shortage. Because you go to the store and the shelves are empty, right? Over the weekend, people would go to the store to buy hand sanitizer and things like this. They couldn't get it because it's out. Because that stuff's not really sold too much. So the volume of sales on hand sanitizer and related products like rubbing alcohol is probably at a record high in the history of our country right now. So they can't do it. They're in a state of anxiety. So they buy toilet paper. If they buy the toilet paper, they feel they've done something to prepare. It relieves their anxiety. Now, like yesterday, I stopped off at Publix to get some coffee creamer and bananas. And my wife said, hey, better pick up some toilet paper. It's selling out. We don't want to run out. You know what I mean? So now that's why. Is there a corona crisis in your mind? I don't think there is.
It's all selling newspapers.
Fake news. Fake news.
It is.
All right. Yeah.
It was in World War II. You know what one of the most
Steve Kane show.
sought after things the soldiers out in the field?
What's that?
Trade anything?
What's that? Toilet paper.
They would literally kill.
Well, speaking of World War II, there a little bit of what's going on now, propagandizing with coronavirus. There was a big move in the Second World War. In the Second World War, people here at home were encouraged to help the war effort by taking in all their extra pots and pans and donating them to the government to make tanks and airplanes out of. Well, the big secret was is they didn't make tanks and airplanes out of the materials that pots and pans were made out of in the 1930s and 40s. But it was propaganda to make, and there was a rush to do that. Similar thing going on now with the toilet paper and things. You know, there's not.
All the flights for the World War II veterans to Washington.
Oh my goodness. Stupid. You know, a lot of this too is like when Obama shut the government down, when he was going up against the Republicans, when we controlled both houses, and we were before it happened, and it was going on for a while. We were talking on the air, not just us, everyone. Well, this is going to be a disaster for the Democrats because they're going to have the government shut down. Because when the government is shut down, essential services like mail, military, things like that, that all still goes. And the government's going to be shut down for a month, and people aren't even going to realize it. Nothing in their life will change. So what did Obama do? He put security guards from the Park Service around the open air memorials in D.C., like the World War II memorial, things you just walk by. He had the roads blocked off so you couldn't drive by Mount Rushmore, so people would feel the pinch. And that's a lot of the shutdown. That's kind of what the media are trying to do today. They're trying to drive the markets down and do other things to make people feel as if there's a crisis when there is not one.
Well, if you look at the pre-market now, everything is up. My Home Depot is up almost 5%. So we're right now.
That's the market. That's the stock market. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Take care. Stephen Royal Palm. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Diane. I'm calling from Tennessee.
Diane in Tennessee. What's on your mind?
I'm a nurse, and it infuriates me how the mainstream media has terrorized our country over this coronavirus. If people, it's not difficult. Wash your hands with antibacterial soap, and you wash them for 20 seconds. That 20 seconds, if you stand there and sing the ABCs pretty quick, you're done. You need to do that anyway. Your body's covered in staph. We're going to freak out about that. And locally, in our county, there was a child that had contact with another child that tested positive. Listen, tested positive. They actually spent 30 minutes of our local news showing the some of the moms that brought Lysol and is spraying it all over their children.
Oh my goodness! So that's dangerous, isn't it?
So now you're going to end up with bacterial pneumonia.
Oh, great!
Corona.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what I'm a little nervous about. You know what? I'll tell you what I'm a little nervous about is when they come out with a vaccine that's rushed, and when they come out with a vaccine that's rushed, I've never seen any vaccine rushed out as fast as they're trying to push this. Me personally, I will not take it, and I will try to discourage my daughter, who's going to be 21 this month. So she's, I'm out of total control, but I'm going to try to get her not to take it. My wife, I don't tell my wife what to do, but, I hope she doesn't take it either. Rushing out a vaccine without the proper process of testing, who knows what kind of reactions people are going to have.
My doctor's office yesterday, okay, and I'm on 2 different forms. I don't have cancer, but I'm on 2 different forms for chemotherapy for something else. I have no immune system. I didn't ask about it. He looks at me and he goes, don't use hand sanitizer. He said, soap and water's the best. I was like, that's what I use anyway. But, use common sense. People are just out of their minds. But when I saw that kid getting sprayed in his face with Lysol,
Well, that's, listen, I'm a big user of Lysol because I use it on the microphones here at the radio studio. And and I always have. But spraying Lysol on the body, I don't think that's safe. I don't even. That's certainly not one of the recommended applications.
No, it's not. And I'm going to tell you another thing. The test, too, for this, there are so many false negatives.
Yeah.
So many false positives.
Well, that's going to be when they do the testing and we get all of these positives, which are going to be in the many thousands. It could be tens of thousands. Who knows? That's when the media is really going to try to start a panic.
You know, my stepmother has Alzheimer's, and she called me, and my dad was on the phone, and she was panicked to get a mask last week.
Oh.
It's okay. So you're causing it broke my heart to hear.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
Fear that they are putting into people. So I brought a mask home because sometimes it just feels like she wasn't going to wear it.
Well, listen, I got to run for a break. I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call and the information and the expert medical, because you're a nurse, info we got there. All right, 21 minutes after 7. I'm Brian. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back after this.
This is Adrienne Kane, Steve's daughter, and I want to tell you about my MyPillow mattress. I was talking to Dad, and I was telling him I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all night long. I had an old, worn-out, lumpy, bumpy mattress that was so uncomfortable, I wasn't getting any sleep. A couple of days later, there was a knock at the door, and it was a MyPillow mattress. I slept on it that night, and ever since I've been sleeping the whole night through. No more tossing, no more turning, and when my alarm goes off in the morning, I'm up and ready to go and well rested. Give your kids, grandkids, spouse, or yourself the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow mattress. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE, you can save up to $300 off your MyPillow mattress. They come in all sizes, from twin to California king and every size in between. Go to mypillow.com and be sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and give the gift of a MyPillow mattress. Worth its weight in restful sleep.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost
Oh, that's not the same. Give me a break. Give me a break.
your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart.
That was Richie, the bus driver, called me during the break. All right, 23 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. And, of course, Dr. Gupta over at Brighton Dental. For Steve Kane listeners, free exam and free x-rays for every Steve Kane listener. When you call, you got to mention the Steve Kane Show. Free exam, free x-rays, on top of these incredibly low prices already. Can't get lower than free on that exam and x-rays. It's an incredible deal for Steve Kane listeners, so you need to mention that when you call to make your appointment. And if you've been to another dentist and they told you need any type of procedure done, large or small, root canal or anything tiny too, free second opinion at Dr. Gupta's Brighton Dental if you mention the Steve Kane Show, okay? So give them a call. Listed at stevekaneshow.com with all our sponsors. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Okay. I want a couple things here. So Richie, the bus driver, called at the top of the hour, brought some things up I didn't address fully yet, which I will. And he just called me during the break and said Fox Business carried the Corona news conference with the vice president, president, surgeon general, and all the top government officials in charge of the coronavirus task force. Fox News carrying Bernie Sanders and not the press event on Fox News Channel with the president, the vice president, the Surgeon General of the United States, and the leading experts, okay, and the leaders of the coronavirus task force is irresponsible newscasting. Richie said he told me Fox Business covered it. Not everyone has Fox Business. That's why they push so hard, right? If your cable company doesn't have it, demand it. Not everyone has Fox Business. Everyone has Fox. A lot of Fox News watchers will not watch CNN or MSNBC. They won't watch it out of principle. Why did Fox News Channel not cover the president's coronavirus press event yesterday and kept Bernie Sanders on? Why do you think that is? Do they want their viewers to be in a panic? Do they not want people to hear the calm and organization coming from the administration? What do you guys think about that? 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Now, what Richie said in the last hour that I didn't address, I promised him I would, so I will now. President Trump's losing the war against the media. It only seems that way. It only seems that way. When the president was coming on with that press event, at first I had on Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube. Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube cover every Trump event. I didn't know they had White House access now, but they do. They carry every Trump rally. I watch them all the time. And Right Side Broadcasting has a live chat going on while they're streaming. And while I was waiting for the president to come out, I had Right Side Broadcasting on my television at home on YouTube. And by the way, you can watch me on your if you have YouTube on your television, you can watch me on TV here on the Steve Kane Show, Brian Craig on YouTube. I'm watching the chat room on my television on Right Side Broadcasting, right? Thousands of people are watching on Right Side Broadcasting. And no one believes what's going on in the media. I saw Corona hoax, I can't tell you how many times. Fake news, so many times in the chat room on Right Side Broadcasting. Trump is not losing the war on public opinion so far as this goes. It appears that way if you watch the cable news around the clock every day. I don't. I follow the news. I know everything that's going on. I turn the television news on too, but I just watch it in short spurts to see what's going on. That's all. If you watch the news on television, as a lot of you do day and night, you are going to be scared. You are going to be in a state of anxiety. You are going to be very concerned because the media are trying to get you to feel that way. If you don't watch the cable news all day, you won't be in a state of anxiety. And that's not the same as saying, well, you're not informed. No. If you remember in the early days of CNN, right? Headlines at the top and bottom of every hour. Even on Fox News, headlines top and bottom of every hour. Do they even do that anymore? Television news, even cable news, when it first debuted until the last couple of years, was only meant to watch for 20 to 30 minutes. That's it. Because in 20 or 30 minutes, you get all the important headlines from around the nation. And then they'd start over every half an hour. Now, they don't. It's been this way for many years. There's no news anymore on cable news. No news. They'll have a headline, and then they'll have two people that are experts being interviewed about the story. One from the left, one from the right, telling you what you're supposed to think as a conservative, what you're supposed to think as a liberal, and they talk about it all day, like I'm doing. But this is a radio talk show. We don't call this the Steve Kane News program. We call it the Steve Kane Show, right? So that is what's going on here. People, if you're watching the news all day and all night, like many of you do, and Richie, the bus driver, is retired, so he has the television on a lot of the time, okay? He's in a panic. He's in a panic. I give you an example in an unrelated thing. This happened several years ago. This happened about 10 years ago. A couple, I'm not going to tell you who this is. Some of you would know who I'm talking about. But I was watching television, and there was a couple on the Oprah Winfrey Show talking about swinging. They're swinging. They were in disguise, okay? They were in disguise, and they were using fake names. And even though I knew them for many years, I wasn't sure it was... At first, in fact, right away, I said that they seem familiar. The voices are familiar. And it took me a few minutes, even though I've known these people for many years, to know who they were. They were talking about swinging, which is wives. That means a husband has sex with other women in front of his wife. His wife is having sex with other men in front of the husband. And then, all of a sudden, after a few minutes, I recognized them. And I called up Steve, and he didn't answer the phone. So I called up Lori, Steve's wife, Lori. And I said, Lori, I'm going to put the phone... I didn't tell her anything. I said, you're not going to believe this. I'm going to put the phone up to the television. There's a couple talking about swinging on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Tell me who you think this is. Because they were in such heavy disguise, wasn't 100% convinced it was them. And she told me, boom, right away who they were. And then Steve called me, and I put the phone up and did the same thing to him. And I told Steve, I said, what are they thinking? Why did they go on national TV talking about being swingers? And Steve Steve used to be many years ago. A lot of you may not know this, or maybe you do. And those that don't know, maybe this will surprise you, but maybe it won't. Steve used to be in that kind of lifestyle many, many years ago, before I knew him, thankfully so. So he had some expertise in the swinging world. So I had said to Steve, I said, why would they go on national television talking about this? And he said, because they're in a bubble. He says all their associates are, and everybody they hang around with, are swingers. All their friends, everyone they're hanging out with, they're all swingers. And because they're in that bubble, they don't realize that what they're talking about is a taboo. They think everybody's cool with it. Everybody's doing it. It's no big deal. They lost perspective. They're in this swinging bubble. Very similar when you, like Richie the bus driver in the last hour. Trump's losing. He's losing the PR war. He's losing the media war. He's losing this. It's a big deal. This is happening. Because he has Fox News Channel on pretty much every hour of every day that he's awake. And they're boom, 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 just pounding you with coronavirus fear. Boom, 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 boom. So that's his perception. So stay away from the news. The television news should be watched in short spurts very briefly. Not all day, not for hours, not doing binge watching of it. Basically, people think binge, this is what happened with the news, the cable news, because it used to be headlines top and bottom of the hour, and then it turned into what we have today. When Netflix went to streaming from the CDs and the mail, was the birth of binge watching. Binge watching. They've made being a couch potato hip, cool, and common. And if you don't know what binge watching is, you've probably traveled in time from the past. But what binge watching is when somebody finds a television series on one of the streaming services, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and they watch every episode of the series. Every episode. And they can't. They're hooked. They watch every episode of every season, and it's called binge watching. And it's a complete waste of time. I must tell you, I have fallen victim to it. And I've done it several times. I'll get to the last episode, and I always feel a letdown. The last episode of the last season. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much time I wasted. I did that with Lost. Yeah, Howard Stern knew the ending of Lost in the first season. I heard him talk about it on his show. Said he was guessing, but he knew. He had it figured out. Howard Stern, first season of Lost, he knew they were all in purgatory. I heard him say it to Robin on his show. But anyway, I always wondered if J.J. Abrams told him. But what we have with people like Richie the bus driver and many of you don't realize it, but you're binge watching the news. You're a binge watcher. And the news media have you incredibly concerned about something that you should not have even a little worry about, and that's the coronavirus. Almost every death, there were 3 more from that nursing home in Washington State. It's 35 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
103 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. When is the last time you reviewed your revocable living trust?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's been more than 3 years. It needs to be reviewed. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. He will review your trust at no charge. With 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca, downtown Fort Lauderdale, and Aventura. 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782.
Dr.
Okay,
Matej,
right
we
back.
talk about charisma. Hormone replacement pellet therapy brings back a lot of things in people, and one of the things I think it brings back is charisma, because I've met many listeners that are patients of Dr. Matej that I've met before they were patients of Dr. Matej, and I notice a big difference. And one thing I notice is a lot of confidence in guys after they start hormone replacement pellet therapy.
I agree with you 100%, Brock.
Yeah,
Get your mojo back. It's really
It
what it is.
changes your life. It changes the way you view the world. You know how I put it once? This was years and years ago. Looking at the world after having the hormone therapy, and you look at the world, and the world is like in Technicolor, and when you give up the hormone therapy, it's like watching the world in black and white. It's just an amazing difference.
Be right back, guys.
That's a fantastic analogy.
Isn't it?
It is.
And it's true. That's a big difference.
It is. As we get older, we both physically and mentally break down, and we tend to get into a very black and white type of existence, a lot of people. Everybody's different. But when you get your hormone levels back and you get that vigor back, you feel good. Suddenly things are very bright and colorful.
And I experience this myself, and I see it on listeners, is I'll see a guy, and he's like, and then I'll see him after he has become a patient of yours, and with hormone replacement pellet therapy, he seems like he's standing up strong, confident, 10 feet tall. What is it about hormone replacement pellet therapy that does that to guys?
I believe it's because you're putting God's nectar back into the body, basically. God gave us testosterone in particular to give us energy and strength and endurance and muscle mass. It's what makes not just men, it's what makes people. And a lack of it takes all of those things away from you.
We'll meet with Steve Kane listeners at no charge.
Always.
What is the number they can call to make that appointment?
561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Those of you that were calling in during the break, I'm sorry, I stepped out during the break to stretch my legs. And I missed all the calls that came in during the break to answer during the break. So if you'd like to call in, please do. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I'm a one-man band when I'm alone. I have no one to answer the phones. I've got to answer the phones. I had to let somebody in the door. I have to play the commercials and all this stuff. So sometimes I can't do everything at once when I'm very busy sometimes during the break. So 888-GO-KANE-1. That's 888-465-2631. We're talking about everything involving coronavirus. 888-465-2631. The president today said he's going to have some major economic news for us. When the market opened and it was down so much yesterday, did you sense smile in the voice of the people on television news reporting this? Because I was watching it live. It was a big drop. Did they seem to be enjoying it? It seemed like they were enjoying it to me. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
How's it going, man? First thing I'd like to say, number one, I also hate this time thing change, this daylight savings time. I'd rather not have it. Anyhow, I was at a Republican meeting at Wings Plus last night, and the place was packed. Everybody was shaking hands. Nobody was roping around thinking, oh, you're not supposed to shake hands. I think the media has not really affected people as much as Richie's thinking. I think it's most people know. And then we have the Surgeon General saying that the only people really are dying are over 80, so the kids really aren't getting it. So I think it's going to blow over pretty soon.
Well, listen. There was a poll that came out that was talked about yesterday. Twice as many Democrats are concerned about coronavirus than conservatives. And we were talking yesterday, Republicans, Trump people don't trust the media, and that's the source of the information. So that's what a lot of it is. I mean, listen, I always wash my hands. I always do these things that they're telling you need to do now. But what they're really trying to do, it's what Trish Regan said last night on Fox, is they're trying, this is part of the impeachment. It's like another hoax that they're doing to try to make Trump look incompetent, have him suspend his campaign through all these things. That's everything that's going on here. And I think Trump people know this. All these things that the left and the media think hurt Trump only make him stronger and more popular with his base, which is me and you. Steve Kane Show.
I think even the Democrats got to be saying, come on, this is ridiculous. You can't blame President Trump for a virus.
And I got to tell you, did you catch the president and the vice president's news event yesterday? Oh, well, when the president left, he left Pence out there at the podium, in front of the podium with all the leaders, the Surgeon General and everybody, and Pence was leading the. Boy, did he look presidential yesterday. He looked like he was the president. I mean, I was talking about this yesterday and also over the weekend on my podcast. Donald Trump has made Mike Pence the presidential apprentice for 2024, and he's letting him lead press conferences with the presidential seal in front of him and everything to get people accustomed to him being the leader so that we can see him in these positions. He is great. I feel very confident and secure with Pence. I can't wait to vote for him for top of the ticket in 2024.
I think you're right. I think everybody in the beginning was saying, oh, Pence, I don't know about it. And all of a sudden now he's coming off very presidential. I think he'd be great for president. I mean, I'd like to see Trump have a third term, but...
Hey, I'd like to see Trump president for life, but that's not going to happen. But he is definitely preparing us for Pence, because Pence is always behind the scenes, and, we never get to see him in charge. And when he walked out and left Pence up there at the podium, he looked great. I was like, wow, he looks like he's the president up there, because he handled it so well and presidential-like, which is what we want from our nominee in 2024.
And most politicians, but when you put him next to Trump, there's nobody like Trump.
What was the Republican event you were at Wings Plus last night for?
Just the monthly meeting for the Republicans in Coral Springs, Parkland area.
Oh.
To talk about what's going on. Always meet at Wings Plus.
Of course.
Meeting, and they had the next Attorney General, hopefully, for the Republican Party for Florida, speaking there.
Did you have, when you were at Wings Plus last night, did you have wings or something else?
I had wings.
Oh, which kind of wings did you get?
I guess it's just the regular wings with the...
I usually get medium. Oh, you got the garlic. The garlic wings are very good. I usually get the hot wings medium. Which is...
They were very good.
I'll tell you another one good, the lemon pepper. Steve turned me on to the lemon pepper. Oh, my goodness. The lemon pepper, because I love hot, spicy things, so it was very difficult for me to go to the lemon pepper. You know what I mean? I was hesitant. But Steve ordered a basket for himself, and I had a couple, and then I went and ate his whole basket of wings. I mean, the lemon pepper at Wings Plus wings are out of this world good. All right, take care. All right, yeah, Wings Plus. Wings Plus is located about a mile west of University Drive, south side of Sample, and they have the best wings in town. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's take our last break of the second hour. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. That's right, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be back right after this.
Diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Have you checked your cholesterol lately? Knowing your numbers is important, especially when it comes to heart health. Any lab tests now of Coral Springs guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. Their total cholesterol panel, which includes LDL, HDL, and triglycerides, is just $49. No appointment needed, no doctor's order or prescription necessary either, and you will be in and out in 15 minutes or less. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive. It's on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall. If you have any questions, call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly
Steve Kane
Mike
Show.
at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the
Steve
phone.
Kane Show.
954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. And who do we have on the line? Our anti-aging specialist, Dr. Mitch Matez. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How's the world of hormone replacement pellet therapy?
Oh, the world is doing great, and you just played that lovely spot that we have. So I'm going to take the opportunity, pardon my voice, I'm going to take the opportunity to do a little public service here this morning. I'm reading this morning, there's a doctor, one of the guys that is over in China, is now claiming that if you have high blood pressure, you're at a significantly increased risk of dying from the coronavirus. This is absolutely ridiculous, folks. He's basing that on the fact that 60% of the people who have died in China have had high blood pressure. However, all of these people have had other underlying problems. Anybody, generally, who is elderly and has significant underlying medical issues is probably going to have high blood pressure. This is as you were talking about before, Brian, they are trying to scare the heck out of us.
Oh, yeah.
People with high blood pressure do not need to start quarantining themselves.
No, and I'll tell you, it's amazing that high blood pressure is a thing in China because they don't eat like we do in America, right? They eat rice basically over there, and I didn't even realize that was an issue in China.
High blood pressure, but if you have significant underlying disease, chances are you probably have high blood pressure too.
Yeah, that's how it is. Mm-hmm.
The idea here is you just take the same precautions you would take against getting the cold or the flu is what you need to do here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, give Dr. Mitch Matez a call. Talk to him about hormone replacement pellet therapy. You hear us talk about it all the time. It is life-changing. It will change your life, both men and women. A completely free consultation for listeners of the Steve Kane Show, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490, and online, hormonetherapybocaratone.com. All right, Dr. Matez, we will talk later in the week. You too, take care. Dr. Mitch Matez, good guy, good guy. You know, this debate that's coming up is the debate between Bernie and Biden on the 15th. Okay, there's all this talk about the rule changes. They want to have them sitting down because Biden's people want him sitting. And Bernie Sanders is a stupid man. I almost spilled my coffee. Oh my goodness, that would have been devastating. Especially as much as Starbucks coffee cost. Oh, this was not too much. I get black blonde over there. I give an example about how stupid Bernie Sanders is. Okay? Biden's people want to have a sit-down debate and change this format because they're, remember, I've been telling you that Biden's coasted through these debates the way he has is because he's been kind of hidden. There's been so many people up there. When it's just a one-on-one, it's a whole different thing. And they want him sitting down to help him get through a 2-hour debate on television. And Bernie's people are debating it. This is what you do. If Bernie Sanders was not stupid, if the people on his campaign had half a brain and any idea about how television works and how politics works and PR works, they would do what I'm going to tell you. Agree to let Biden sit down, but you, Bernie Sanders, stand up. Let him sit down, and you're going to stand, do the whole debate. Right? And he'll look like what he is, a feeble, incoherent old man who does not have the ability to lead anything. Okay? Certainly not the country. But his people are so consumed with anger at Biden, and they're still shell-shocked over getting wiped out, that they're not, either they're completely stupid or they're not thinking rationally. But that would make, that Bernie would win that debate regardless of what was said. If he was standing and Biden is sitting, the visual of that would be devastating to Biden. But Bernie and his people, they're stupid people. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning. I saw Pence yesterday, and I was very impressed with the way he handled the situation, the way he talked. He acts very presidential. I want to tell you that.
Okay.
I feel much more comfortable with him up there than the clown.
Who's the clown?
Who the clown is?
I have no idea.
Flippo?
Clarabelle? By the way, do you know who Trump's a clown? Do you know? Hey, by the way, do you know who Clarabelle is?
Well, the clown.
Where? The clown? Where though? Where was Clarabelle the clown?
Howdy Doody.
Oh, you got it. Good. You know something. That's right. It's Howdy Doody time. That's right. That's right. Howdy Doody. I was in the studio audience. I was in the studio audience at the Howdy Doody show in Miami Beach. I've been trying to find they have on Hulu, they have the Howdy Doody shows from the 70s, from the Jackie Gleason Theater there. My first, yeah, I do. It was on in the 70s in color, and they filmed it in Miami Beach at the Jackie Gleason studio. And the first time I came to Florida, I was 5. I was in the studio audience, and I've been going through, because I saw myself on TV when I went back home, but it was 1976. We didn't have VCRs or anything, you know what I mean? So I've been going through these old Howdy Doody shows on Hulu, because I kind of have a recollection of where I saw myself on TV trying to find myself. And I haven't been able to find myself in the studio audience of the Howdy Doody show yet. But no, I was there with Buffalo Bob Smith, Clarabelle, Howdy Doody, and they had a girl on the show. I forgot her name. But anyway, you said Trump's a clown? Give me an example of something he did that's clown-like recently.
Well, he made light of the situation with the virus.
How so? Give me an example of how he made light of it in a clown-like way. Be specific.
How he did it.
No, you called him a clown. I feel like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas, talking to Ray Liotta in Goodfellas. But no. You say that the way that President Trump has handled the coronavirus is clown-like. Give me a specific thing he has said that makes you think he is a clown?
People now, governors around the country.
No, I don't think about that. I'm concerned that we have a president who's a clown. So what did he do that's clown-like specifically?
I want to discuss this with you.
Of course you do want to discuss it with me. You called me. Did I call you or did you call me? Who called who here? You called me. So that means that you wanted to have a discussion with me, and I'm talking about what you brought up. I did a little sideline thing to Clarabelle and Howdy Doody. I'm talking about what you called up to me to discuss. So this is exactly what you wanted to discuss. You called me to discuss something, and I'm discussing what you brought up. You said the president was a clown.
This president, I wish Trump would go away.
Why?
Oh.
But you won't tell me what he's done that's clown-like.
Okay, Brian, I'm glad you like Clarabelle and you're on the How to Do show.
I am too. Yeah. Bye. I think this caller's a clown. He can't even hang up the phone. You hear him? He's still there. This idiot. He's still there on the line. You guys hear him? He's still got the phone. I don't know. Jeff, are you there? Do you know that you have not hung up the phone yet? He doesn't even know he hasn't hung up the phone. I can still hear it. I heard a noise like a click. See, he's ruffling around. So who's really the clown here? The guy who thinks he hung up and he still has me on the line? He obviously hasn't turned his radio back up or he'd hear us talking about him. Oh my goodness, how pathetic. I just disconnected the call. But Trump's a clown. You know, our newest sponsors here on the Steve Kane Show, Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca. There are lots of Any Lab Test Nows, okay? They're all over the place. But there are only two that are advertising and sponsoring the longest-running radio show in the state of Florida, the Steve Kane Show. That's Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca. Same owners own both locations. And their prices are unbelievably low. In fact, both Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. And I was talking about PSA testing because Steve went into to get a PSA test just to do the commercial. This was a few years back. And his doctor hadn't told him to get a PSA test, but he hadn't had one in a long time. And we wrote in and they said, it's been a while, you should have one. Steve had a PSA test and found out he had prostate cancer. And it was a very good thing he did because he found out that he had prostate cancer in the earliest stages of it. So it was easily treatable without any surgeries or anything, which was absolutely amazing. And every man over the age of 40 should have a PSA test. PSA test, now again, at Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca, they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA test, just $49. $49. Is that wild? No doctor's order needed, no prescription needed, no appointment either. You could just walk right into either location, $49. And that's just one example, but all their testing has as dramatic of low pricing. Listen to this, cholesterol testing. Total cholesterol with LDL, HDL, and triglycerides. A total cholesterol panel. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca, $49. Is that crazy? I know. Drug test, $49. And get this. Drug test, $49. A lot of people self-drug test, right? Sometimes, employers, they can help you out too. Do you know, $49 drug test, do you know results are available right there on the spot? They can give you the results of your drug test right there on the spot. Again, all of their they have thousands of lab tests, no doctor's order, prescription, or appointment needed for any of them. And these prices I just gave you, you'll find similar savings on all of their thousands of tests. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Western Beef Shopping Center on 441 in Boca. That's the Sandalfoot Plaza. The number I give you is for the Coral Springs location. If you have any, both locations' phone numbers and addresses, if you want to plug them into your phones or listen at stevekaneshow.com, the number I give you is for the Coral Springs location, but they can help you with both. Okay? The number, 954-906-5800. 5983. 954 906 5983. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. Any lab test now of Coral Springs, any lab test now of Boca, the sponsors of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Make sure you mention the Steve Kane Show when you stop in or call. All right, third and final hour begins right now.
0.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Does your life insurance policy only pay someone if you die? The new life insurance policies allow you to access your benefits even while you were still alive. Due to changes in the insurance industry, all life insurance carriers in 2020 have adjusted their premiums to your advantage. Life insurance rates have been lowered due to the updated mortality tables. People are living longer in America, and that means life insurance premiums are lower. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080 to learn more and for a free review of your existing life insurance policy. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
This is Lori Kane, and I'm going to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for
Good
life.
morning, everyone. Subscribe if you're not
Stop
subscribed.
you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
This is Adrienne Kane, Steve's daughter, and I want to tell you about my MyPillow mattress. I was talking to Dad, and I was telling him I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all night long. I had an old, worn-out, lumpy, bumpy mattress that was so uncomfortable, I wasn't getting any sleep. A couple of days later, there was a knock at the door, and it was a MyPillow mattress. I slept on it that night, and ever since I've been sleeping the whole night through. No more tossing, no more turning, and when my alarm goes off in the morning, I'm up and ready to go and well rested. Give your kids, grandkids, spouse, or yourself the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow mattress. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE, you can save up to $300 off your MyPillow mattress. They come in all sizes, from twin to California king and every size in between. Go to mypillow.com and be sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and give the gift of a MyPillow mattress. Worth its weight in restful sleep.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices in South Florida, including downtown Fort Lauderdale, Coral Gables, and downtown Miami. 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Third and final hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show. I'm taken back here. I just was reading this story, Entertainment Weekly, about Corey Feldman's documentary. You know, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, yeah, terrible what Corey Haim, he's, you know, they were such big movie stars for a couple of years. And, I mean, I did not follow what was going on with Corey Feldman's documentary that had all kinds of disasters. And part of the reason I'm tired of Corey Feldman talking about these things that happened to him without naming names all these years. And he's been dragging this out for years and years and years. And he named a big name who denies it. Well, someone that used to be a big name. And this is an Entertainment Weekly. I'm not going to go through the whole story, but I don't know. I don't know. Corey Haim, he's been teasing naming names forever. I'm not gonna even read the name. You guys can look it up online. I'm not even gonna go through that. I don't know. Corey Feldman has really. I'm a fan of Corey Feldman, and I'm a fan of the late Corey Haim, but I just don't trust Corey Feldman anymore. I need more information. And why did it take him so long to name this name? Very strange. All right, we've been talking about everything involving the coronavirus today. We've been talking about how the media has been hyping things up, the panic. And, of course, I saw yesterday people are starting to finally pick up on some of the things I've been talking about the last few days involving coronavirus, that the media are using this for political purposes with the cooperation of their friends in the Democrat Party to try to get the Trump campaign suspended. And by suspending the Trump presidential campaign, I mean calling off the rallies. Yeah, Corey Feldman named a very big name. If you're just wondering, I just read it during the break. It's in many news outlets. I am not sharing the story on the air, and I'm not saying the name. I don't believe Corey Feldman just doesn't have credibility. You guys can Google it and see it yourself. I just don't know if I believe that yet. I need more information than the good word of Corey Feldman. And the details he gave were very graphic. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Corey Feldman's been talking about the sex abuse that he and Corey Haim went through for so many years, and he finally had this documentary that people were paying to see, and I think he has to, name some names. So he finally named names, and this one's a pretty big famous person, but I'm not going to do it because it's everywhere. I mean, if I don't do it, it's still out there available to many millions of people, but I just don't feel comfortable saying the name. I read the whole story and the Corey Feldman quotes during the break, and it's very graphic, and the name is very big. I'm just not going to... I just don't trust Corey Feldman, that's all. All right, so listen, the media and the Democrats are working together. They got no issues. Look at their candidates. They got a communist running against a man who's suffering from age-related dementia issues that is just, it's sad. It's really sad to see Vice President Biden like this. And I know they're trying to spin this into a good thing, talking about a sympathy vote. People do a lot of things for people they have sympathy for. Some women have sex with people out of sympathy, right? Don't they do that? Are there any women in this audience? I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this because there's this talk about sympathy for Biden, the sympathy vote. Would people vote for a man to be president of the United States because they feel sorry for him? I don't know. Are there any women in this audience who have had sex with a guy out of sympathy where they made you feel sad and sorry for them and they, there's a crude term for that. I don't know. I don't think there are certain things that people will do and won't do out of sympathy. I do not believe people will vote for someone for president of the United States because they feel sorry for them. No, that's not what you would do. I think a woman is more likely to have sex with a guy out of sympathy than vote for a guy who they feel sorry for president of the United States. Anyway, I've been talking about this for days. Now the rest of the media are getting into it. And the Democrats are even openly talking about this now, that Trump needs to suspend his rallies. I'll get to some audio sound bites as the show goes on. But the Trump rallies are not going to stop. And I love how they keep talking about how Trump needs to stop having campaign events. But Bernie Sanders can have a town hall last night. That's okay, right? Why was there... I was at the mall yesterday in Boca, the Boca Town Center Mall with my daughter. My daughter wanted to go to the Apple store. She wanted to get some new AirPods because her AirPods were destroyed in the washing machine. They don't work anymore. So I took her to the Apple store. And if you follow me on Instagram, I did an Instagram live feed. If you follow me on Instagram, this is on my Instagram stories. You should, when I live stream the radio show and my podcast and do live streams on my YouTube channel. But if I'm going to do something short, whether it's walking the dog or something like yesterday, if I'm going to do something short, I'll do it on my Instagram stories. So I'm Brian Craig Show on Instagram. So I get to the Apple store at the mall with my daughter, and there was they had 2 lines waiting to get into the Apple store, one on each side. And I said to my daughter, I said, has there been a new Apple release that we don't know about? Have they come out with a new device, a new watch, a new phone? I didn't hear about an Apple release. Why is there a line? And what we found out, and I stream this on my Instagram, you guys can see this, because of the coronavirus, they are limiting the number of people that they're allowing into the store. And my daughter is ready to buy her new Apple or AirPods, which is not an inexpensive purchase. She paid for them herself. She's a grown-up. She's going to be 21 in a couple weeks. Less than that, actually, a week. And less than a week. And I took her there to buy them. And they had 2 long lines, one on each side. So my daughter goes up to the worker and says, I'm here to buy AirPods. If I pay for them online for store pickup, do I still have to wait in line? And they said yes. And they were limiting the number of people inside the store. The Apple worker, this was just yesterday at the mall. The Apple worker, and I don't know if this is Apple stores nationwide or just the location here in Boca, the worker at the door said, we have to stay 3 feet away from customers. 3 feet away from customers. How the hell do you do that? And first off, she had an iPad out taking down your information about what you were in line to do at the store. So she was right in front of us, talking to us. And we're like, well, you're not 3 feet away from us now? She says, I know it's ridiculous. I know. How do you have a retail store where you're doing sales and demonstrations? Because you go to the Apple store, you're looking at devices and computers. You might be there for tech support. So you have to interact with, I don't know what they call Apple workers, but you've got to interact with the employee, but they've been told they've got to stay 3 feet away from people, which I guess is what the recommended thing is to stay away from. How do you stay 3 feet away from people in a retail store and still be a retail store worker? How is that even possible? You want to talk about a ridiculous panic going on. Dumbest thing I ever heard. Stupid. And then they took our names, and when it was time for us to go in, I got stopped by store security at the Apple store. My daughter went to walk in. I didn't stay in line with my daughter the whole time I was walking around because I was live streaming. And when it was time for her to go in, I went in with her, and the security guard stopped me and said, excuse me, sir, where are you going? I'm walking in. You would think I was walking out with a computer I didn't pay for, the way he was talking to me. I'm walking into the store, and I get stopped by store security. This is the coronavirus scare. I said, I'm here with my daughter. And he didn't think we were together because we're different skin colors. This happens on occasion. They stereotype us because she's brown and I'm white. They think we're not together sometimes. Oh, my gosh. I know. We get separated and questioned. You do that at the southern border, all of a sudden the left are freaking out. But I've never stopped by store security going into the store because of coronavirus. So hysteria and panic hits the retail industry, at least at the Apple store. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Barry.
Oh, hey, Attorney Barry Siegel. How you doing, Barry Siegel? Right on time. Right on time. It's time for the break as we lead into it. Of course, Attorney Barry Siegel is known for estate planning law, which is so incredibly important. I got to tell you, I don't want to make this part of the commercial so much, but a very good friend of mine and a very good friend of Steve's, is young guy, early 50s, massive car accident in the hospital right now as we speak, and it's been heartbreaking. Someone Steve goes out to dinner with 2 or 3 times a week, And sad reality is, Barry Siegel, you have to prepare regardless of your age because you never know. You never know.
Never know what's going to happen today, tomorrow. In fact, I heard while I was holding you talking about your experience at Apple.
Oh, yeah.
And the coronavirus. I mean, we've been getting a lot of calls, a lot of people coming in, and some of them are even saying it just, with all the uncertainty going on with this whole virus, people are just wanting to get their papers done, their affairs in order. Not that anything's happening, but just to be safe. And so for those of you who are just concerned and want to make sure that everything's in place, just give us a call and we'd be happy to get you set up to cut.
A part of estate planning, we often talk with you about making sure that those who you want to inherit your money get the money. We talk about those kind of things a lot. But, one thing, and is this common to include when people come in for estate planning, is to have documents put together on how they want things to be handled if they're incapacitated in a hospital, so far as medical treatment and life support. Is that a common thing that people add to their estate planning?
There are three very important estate planning documents that completely deal with that. The healthcare surrogate designation, which lists who will make your important healthcare decisions if you don't have capacity to do so. The living will, which is a document where you make your wishes known, whether you want to be kept alive on a machine, if that's the only thing keeping you alive. And the HIPAA authorization and release, which is the document that lists the people who are allowed to receive your medical information, who can receive information from the medical staff and medical records. So that's a big part of the state.
Yeah. And, with blended families, with remarriages and everything, that is probably just as important as making sure that the relatives you want to receive an inheritance receive it and everything else. Because, when you don't have things planned, I had a call once on the air from a guy who took one of his parents off life support, and he told me how his wife was basically talked him into, Mom wouldn't want to live this way. Do you really want your mom to live this way? And maybe she was right, but you know what? Maybe she wanted the house and the inheritance. I don't know. There's all kinds of things that go into it. You want to make sure your wishes are followed. Give attorney Barry Siegel a call. Completely free consultation for Steve Kane listeners. By the way, if you already have a revocable living trust, it should be reviewed every 3 years. Barry will review your trust at no charge. His number, listed at stevekaneshow.com, 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782. Online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week. All right, you too. Take care. All right, let's finish up the break, and we'll be right back, and I'll pick up right where I last left you. Don't go anywhere.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van.
Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed.
$75 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Soul Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. I just was reading this article this morning in the Gateway Pundit. By the way, the gatewaypundit.com is an incredible conservative news site. You definitely should make it a regular place for you to go at least once, if not twice a day. Listen to this headline. Joe Biden's medical fitness summary was released in December, right? It did not include a cognitive functioning test. His doctors omitted the cognitive functioning test. Shocker there. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Top of the morning, Chief.
Oh, yes. Al the John. Hey, Al. How you doing?
From Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Florida to vote. And
Why don't you coming down to Florida to vote? Why don't you just vote absentee and stay in Washington?
because I have my doctors I got to go see, my orthopedic doctor and all that, so I...
Yeah. You know, I'll tell you, though, okay, well, what'd you call about today?
About the fact that Trump's interaction with Governor Jay Inslee qualifies as an act of a clown. You're repeating that only means that you just like to parrot whatever Trump says. It's more dangerous than the flu. All the experts say it is. There are 98 people in Westchester County currently infected. There's another 3 in the D.C. area, and you're downplaying the seriousness.
Well, I'm sure, okay. I'm sure you heard yesterday's show, even though you may deny, because you listen to every show, right? I was talking, yesterday I took a call from another liberal gentleman, and he had talked about there had been 2 people had passed away in the state of Florida as of yesterday from coronavirus, okay? Okay. What does that mean? Is it his fault that somebody had coronavirus in his district, Matt Gaetz? Is that you say, Matt? That's a big thing in the news. 2 people in Matt Gaetz's district. Is that his fault?
Didn't say it was his fault.
You know, this is an absolutely amazing thing because this reminds me of the AIDS crisis. But I'll tell you what I mean by that in a minute. But I talked to a caller yesterday about this. 2 people died in Florida from coronavirus as of yesterday. Okay, and over 21 million people live in Florida. And the Palmetto Expressway, you know the Palmetto Expressway in Miami, right? I hate that road. A lot of well, yeah, I mean it's a bottleneck. You day or night, it's a bottleneck, right? In the course of a day, there were 2 separate traffic accidents with 4 deaths at the Palmetto Expressway. That's twice the number of deaths due to coronavirus in Florida. Should people not drive on the Palmetto Expressway because there were 4 deaths there in about a day period? Should they avoid that stretch of road?
In Florida again.
No, I'm not talking about, no, hold on. We're talking about deaths. 2 died in Florida, 4 died over the weekend on the Palmetto Expressway, 2 separate accidents. That's twice the number of deaths due to accidents on the Palmetto than coronavirus in Florida. Should drivers in Miami, because there were 4 deaths on the Palmetto, avoid the Palmetto and seek alternate routes? Would that be a rational thing to do for drivers in Miami?
Well, we've had more instances up here in D.C.
No, I know you don't want to answer this question. Can you just answer my question? I haven't even challenged you on your D.C. story. Okay? But, come on. Would that be rational or irrational?
Enough tests in Florida, then you'd have a more accurate picture of whether or not there have been more deaths.
Uh-huh.
Yes, there could have been other deaths that happened before.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
These tests out the nursing homes a month ago.
Are Republicans responsible for these corona deaths? That would be the president.
He's not a doctor. But he also cut the budget on the CDC.
That's not true. None of that is true. None of that is true. They had funding. It was it for swine flu or Ebola? There was funding for one of the other illnesses that was no longer a threat, so they stopped that. They didn't stop CDC funding that had anything to do with this. CDC's got plenty of money. I've seen them on television. That's a lie. I know, just Google it, as opposed to listening to the people from the CDC who say it's not true, okay? Let me Google and find some liberal thing, to read, as opposed to listening to the people from the CDC say it's not true. That's what I'll do, Al.
Well, I look forward to going to the Simply Cafe.
Oh, Simply Natural. Yeah, Simply Natural is awesome. Make sure you tell Richard Pearl you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
If you go to their Amazon website, you can get this stuff off the Amazon.
Oh, I did not know. Yeah, Simply Natural is awesome. And the cafe next door, I have not had the opportunity to dine there yet. I will soon. I hear the food is spectacular at the Simply Natural Cafe, which is next door to the Simply Natural store.
Broward County, the Broward County.
Yeah, it is. It is actually. Yeah, it is. It is close to the Democrat headquarters in Broward County. Yeah. I'm sure, though, Simply Natural is much busier than the Democratic headquarters, because the Democrat Party is kind of fading away in Broward County. All right, take care. Anytime I start to pressure Al the John, he starts praising sponsors. That's his, SOS. All right, good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning. My name is Susan. I have to point something out that's driving me absolutely crazy. And I think your listeners should know that there are so many different strains of coronavirus, and upwards, 2 people died in Florida from coronavirus. Yeah, it's on the bottle or the can of Lysol. Coronavirus has been around for a long time.
Wait a minute, it's online. I got a Lysol bottle here. It says it on the Lysol bottle? I've got a can. Okay, hold on a second here. I always have Lysol in the studio every day of the year, not because of the corona, okay? Because I spray the microphones with it. I have my can in my hand, okay? And let me see here. It says here, there's a lot of things on here. It says coronavirus. I'm looking. I see all kinds of things. I don't see corona. Where is it? Oh, there's a whole list here. Is it alphabet? Oh, it's alphabetical. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Corona, bacteria. There must be a clinical name for corona. I don't see corona on here. Unless it's got some Latin name. Coronin bacteria. Is it? It says Corynebacterium. Could that be it? There's 2 different types. Corynebacter, pre-clean. I don't see coronavirus back here. Where did you hear that at?
Oh, you have.
No, did you hear that somewhere? Or did you see it?
No, I saw it. I have a can at home. I actually have 2 different Lysols at home.
I've got the Lysol spray. It's in my hand. Kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. I'm reading all of it. There's a lot of small print. I'm not seeing anything about corona. If somebody can, I'm not questioning you. I just wanted to read it. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry. I got you sidetracked.
No, it's okay. It's on there. There's pictures on Facebook.
Oh, yes, it's right here. It is. It's on the back of the Lysol can of all the things that it kills, and it says right here, human coronavirus. I'm reading it on the Lysol can. It says it's effective. Oh my goodness! It says use Lysol disinfectant spray every day to kill common illnesses causing germs on hard, non-porous surfaces. It's got a list of I don't know how many things, and it says right here, human coronavirus. I'm going to show everyone. I've got. So I just need to walk around with this well, thanks for pointing that out. It says right there, human coronavirus. I couldn't find it because it's alphabetical by H, because it's human coronavirus. I was just looking for coronavirus.
Listen, Lysol is a gem. I'm a germaphobe too. I freak out over, someone sneezes.
I'll show
I
you guys.
immediately turn and run the other direction and run. So, I mean, people need to know they need to
You
cover
see
their
it?
sneezes as well. The flu is more dangerous than the coronavirus. 40,000
Yeah.
by the flu every year. Everyone's like, oh, 2 people in Florida died of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
What strain?
Yeah. Oh, you can't say that. No. Chris Hayes. No. You can't say that. Do I have to dump what you just said was racist? I'm not kidding. I can't make this. I'm good, but I'm not that good. Chris Hayes on MSNBC, he said that saying Wuhan virus is racist. You can't say it. I'm serious. He says it's anti-Chinese. I guess saying Wuhan virus is racist. I'm not kidding. Look that up. I'm not making that up.
From the town of Wuhan, like that.
Well, it can't be. Let me tell you this. Coronavirus cannot be new if it's on the back of this Lysol can this Lysol can's been in here for months. Wow.
Crazy.
That's great. I got to run for a break, but I that's amazing. All right, thanks so much. Wow, I learned something. Wow. This kills coronavirus. Let me spray it. There we go. Hey, yeah. All right. Oh, boy. Did you guys hear that? That's great. It says it right there on the back. Human coronavirus. Oh, it smells so pretty in here now. This is a white can. I don't know what. It's a crisp linen scent. So now the studio smells like crisp linen. All right, we'll break. That's right. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be back after this.
You've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Does your life insurance policy only pay someone if you die? The new life insurance policies allow you to access your benefits even while you are still alive. Due to changes in the insurance industry, all life insurance carriers in 2020 have adjusted their premiums to your advantage. Life insurance rates have been lowered due to the updated mortality tables. People are living longer in America, and that means life insurance premiums are lower. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080 to learn more and for a free review of your existing life insurance policy. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney.
No, it's all the same.
Avoid probate.
Yeah, all the same.
Living trust.
You there?
$350 for single
Okay, you heard it.
people,
Steve Kane Show.
$400 for married couples. When you complete
Steve Kane Show.
with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give
Hello?
you a $100 gift
Hold on.
certificate to
Steve Kane Show.
Italian restaurant in Coral Springs.
Yep,
The
Steve Kane
Siegel
Show.
Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know if you heard me. Yeah, no changes. Still the same.
Coral Springs. Call 1-855
Okay. All right. Take care.
FLA 3782.
On the line, it's time for our health report with Richard Pearl from Simply Natural in Sunrise.
Well, I thought I'd talk about something that really is personally important. My dad died on about 15 years ago.
Yeah, let me see if I can show you guys.
For neurological reasons, he had Alzheimer's. And the reason I'm bringing it up is, with all the politics that are going on, I watched Joe Biden, and I see that he's got early signs of dementia. And actually not that early, but early enough.
Yeah, I put pink highlight on it. Can you guys see it? Can you read that? I don't know if you guys can see it.
After my dad died,
It says human coronavirus.
I reformulated somebody else's formula. And I put in all the different things that could improve brain health. And I got such exceptional responses to it. I just thought, this would be timely to bring up. I mean, I even bought, I haven't used it yet, but I own senilejoe.com. That's how convinced I am is that he has dementia. And nobody really wants to talk about it. And it's true in people's lives when they have family members that are not acting right. The first thing they want to do is deny its possibility, because everyone's scared that it not only could happen to their loved one, but it could happen to them. Brain factors.
Brain factors.
Right? Yeah.
Now, what is this? Is this a liquid? Is it a?
It's a capsule.
It's a capsule.
I made that had all. I won't go into all the functionality of it, but it has alpha GPC, and this is a type of choline that nobody heard of when I made this formula. It's still the #1 form of choline that's used by the brain. And it has acetyl L-carnitine, which makes neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which weighs down short-term memory. It's got phosphatidylserine, another compound that's incredibly important to brain activity, and huperzine and toxicine, and a bunch of things. We don't have time to go into the.
So it helps. So it helps with memory, which is
it's
key.
Incredible for memory structurally. So as we age, our cells don't work as well, and one of the problems that we have is that we have a problem with short-term memory because we don't produce enough acetylcholine. And this product helps to do that. It also allows for nutrition to go to the cell and for the membranes to function properly. So what I found was that, and getting both hemispheres to work, et cetera, et cetera. So I made this formula because of my dad. And it was a legacy project. My dad wasn't interested in anything nutritional. It's just how he was. You can lead a horse to water, but you need a thirsty horse.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. So I decided, well, in his honor, I'll make this product. So we've made it. He's been dead 15 years this month.
Oh.
And we made it, I don't remember exactly, but probably north of 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And it's been working great for so many people. So you don't have to have dementia to use it. But if you're concerned about the quality of your brain health, and that's really the most important thing we have is our being. If you don't have that, everything is a disaster for not just you,
When I talk to seniors, the first thing that seniors are always, in my experience, looking for is help with memory. That's a big thing, and I can understand that. So, listen, if you can't remember the name of the supplement when you stop in or call Simply Natural, tell them you want that supplement that'll help with the memory. I think you'll all remember that. Simply Natural is located in Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University. And you can call over there, 954-741. Make sure you subscribe, guys. And Simply Natural has incredible hours. You guys open at 11. If you're not subscribed, subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. 954-741-4045. And when you call over there, ask any questions you have. If you can't stop in, whether you can't drive over to Sunrise or you're even out of town, call. They will ship to you anywhere. Richard Pearl from Simply Natural just joining us here this week on the Steve Kane Show. But we go way back, many, many years with Richard Pearl and Simply Natural. All right, Richard Pearl, we will talk tomorrow.
All right, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you. And give him a call about that memory supplement.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just look.
All right. You are on the radio. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Brian. You guys were talking about the coronavirus yesterday, and I think what they need to do is they need to put out the deaths from flu every day compared with the deaths from the corona.
Yeah.
You probably know this, but most people don't.
In 1918, the Spanish flu killed 100 million people in the world.
Yeah, well, they didn't have antibiotics and things back then. They had no treatments back in 19. You can't compare the 1918 flu epidemic to anything that's going on today. But they had no medicines.
The deaths are not going to be anything like that. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
people that are dying are people that are elderly and have problems.
More people will probably die on I-95 today than will die from coronavirus this week. So should we avoid I-95?
Yeah, they need to post the flu deaths compared to the corona. Just to put it.
Yeah, but the media don't want you to put things in perspective. Okay. I know you don't use antibiotics for the flu. Someone said with it, they didn't have any medicines in 1918. In 1918, they didn't even understand germs. Okay, so they didn't have medications. So you can't compare 1918 to I know you don't do antibiotics with. I understand this, but they had nothing. They had no vaccines. They had nothing. You know, the media though don't want perspective. They want panic. They want anxiety. They want you worried. They want you to blame Trump. Well, that's what they want to do. If you remember, it was not that many weeks ago, 2 months ago, Bill Maher and others were talking about, well, maybe we need a recession to get us out of this Trump presidency during the re-election. And here they're pushing for it now. All right, take care, man. Appreciate it. And, you know, what their main goal is to try to get Trump to stop the rallies. This is Rahm Emanuel, who's very famous for telling people, don't let a good crisis go to waste.
This administration right now looks like they couldn't organize a one-car parade. And I think here's what's going to be devastating for Donald Trump. Beyond the fact that this requires science, management, data, and being transparent, which are all his weaknesses, you're going to have a point within about 2 months where you cannot have big events together. If you look at presidential history, Franklin Roosevelt used to drive out in the country to get out. President Bush 41 was on a speedboat. The Bush and Ronald Reagan would obviously go to their ranches. He is not going to be able to have his rallies. And it is going to psychologically, the office is isolating enough. And his inability to get the admiration, the adulation from that crowd is going to psychologically torment him. And his isolation is going to get more intense, and his tweets are going to get more vicious.
Wow, that's Rahm Emanuel. Oh, my goodness. He's not going to be able to have his rallies, and he's going to be isolated. And without that, it's, you know, and he's a top Democrat strategist these days, right? Because he's not really employed in the politics as much anymore, but he's in touch with the people that are doing all the decision makings in the Democrats. See, that's at the top level of the Democrat Party. That's what they're thinking. Oh, we can use this. He'll stop the rallies. That'll stop his campaign. His campaign really are the rallies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, yesterday, when Pence took over the press conference, Pence said that he spoke yesterday to 47 governors. And my first question was, well, where were the other three? What were the other three governors doing that they didn't have time to speak to the vice president over this? And which were the other governors? I was pretty shocked by that. And I'd like to know who they were. Was it Cuomo? Was he one? I don't know. But I do know this. Out of all the governors in America, who's the one you like the least? Who's the one you like the least? Who is the most incompetent of the major governors? I would have to say Newsom. And he seems to be a boob, going down to Guatemala, checking in with his constituents down there in some of these positions he has. But Newsom, did you check out Newsom yesterday praising President Trump? I know. I couldn't believe it. Listen to this. This is Governor Newsom, jerk governor of California, praising President Trump involving coronavirus.
President Trump has said that he would prefer if none of the passengers aboard these cruises landed on U.S. soil. Did he mention any of that?
Steve Kane show.
In your conversation?
Yeah, we had a private conversation, but he said we're going to do the right thing.
You know what? I've been banking your call-in, so I played one of them at the 8:30 to make up for it. I apologize because we got another call-in that goes on now. At the next
West Coast time.
Anytime that happens, it doesn't matter because I keep some of them in case that happens, so I have something to
We had
play.
a very long conversation.
Oh, great. Take care, man.
And every
Bye.
single thing he said, they followed through. So I'm just not interested in finding daylight on those statements because every single thing his administration, and it starts at the top, including the vice president, has been consistent with the expectation that we repatriate these passengers and we do it in a way that does justice.
Okay, so Governor Newsom of California, a complete liberal lunatic who's been wrong on everything since I've heard of the guy, but he's praising Donald Trump yesterday. He's praising Donald Trump. I mean, he's probably the most responsible. I never thought this would be, but Governor Newsom of California is probably the most responsible Democrat official in America today. You know, while you've got the rest of the Democrats trying to cause a complete panic, you've got Newsom holding people together, holding everything together, stopping the panic, telling us the truth that Trump has got everything under control, as well as the vice president. He's addressing everything as it should be. He doesn't have one complaint about Trump and Pence and their handling of coronavirus. Now, I imagine since that, some of the Democrats have gotten to him, and he may have to, what do they call it in the... He may have to walk back some of those statements. But that was absolutely amazing. Listen, we're going to take a break. When we get back, it's time for the Gold Report. And a few more things, too, before we say goodbye for the day. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Don't go anywhere.
Paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire.
Hey there.
These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Do you have a long-term care policy that's costing you hundreds of dollars a month? How would you like to have that same coverage with no monthly premium? It is possible. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, and find out how. Stop paying thousands of dollars a year in long-term care premiums and have that coverage you need and the coverage you want. Call Debbie right now, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back. It's time for the Gold Report with William Yargaman. William Yargaman, I don't know what's going on with the metals. We'll find out in a moment, but I saw that gold was trending on Google this morning. It was a Google trend was gold, which I've never seen before, so something big must be happening.
Doing what they do best, and that is provide a shelter for times of economic upheavals and concerns over the economies and stock markets that crash and so on and so forth. We got a little relief today after gold ran up as high as $1,704 yesterday, and then closed out the day up $6.50 at $1,679.60. That on the heels of the biggest stock crash practically ever in history, down over 2,000 points yesterday. That market is recovering a little bit today with an implied opening of maybe 700 points higher, but we'll see if that actually happens. In the meantime, gold is pulling back this morning after its huge gains yesterday, giving us an opportunity to jump in and buy, with gold down $17 this morning at $1,662.60. Silver up 3 cents right now at $17.03. Yesterday, it pulled back under the $17 number. It got and closed out the day at $16.98. That was down 34 cents on the day. Platinum yesterday closed down $40 at $863, and this morning it's up $19 at $882. Industrial metals coming back a little bit, obviously. And palladium yesterday closing down $93 at $23.58, and right now it's down $8 at $2,350 the ounce. So gold's giving us the opportunity. Silver very reasonable, and platinum also very reasonable. Platinum the main gainer today after yesterday's $40 drop, and gold's certainly a buying opportunity.
Yeah. Well, there's all this anxiety with the Dow Jones every time it does this or does that. What would you recommend? What percentage of someone's worth should they put into the metals? Because people have a lot of money in the markets, 401k stocks and things like this, bonds. Is there a certain percentage that you recommend people should put into the metals?
We recommend 5%, but in times like this, and when you have markets that are so overdone in so many directions, we actually recommend at least 10% of our portfolio be in the precious metals and in physical, not in ETFs. That's a very important.
By the way, ETFs, a lot of times people will watch the stock tickers and you'll see gold go by. That's not real gold that you hold in your hand. That's like a stock, right?
It sounds like a stock. Supposedly it's backed by gold, but derivatives that accompany that make it very unlikely that the gold.
Yeah.
Have the gold make the rules, and take advantage of making sure that you have the gold not just in a statement on a piece of paper, but actually in your physical.
That's correct. That's correct. And of course, you can stop right in William Youngerman's location in the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. But he also does business by phone. If you're here in South Florida or anywhere for that matter, and for whatever reason you can't make it into the physical location, give them a call and they will help you right over the phone. 1-800-327-5010. And actually, you ship metals? And I got to tell you, I've seen shipments come in of silver in the bar form, and there's nothing more exciting than getting a silver bar in the mail. It's an amazing thing. Give them a call, 1-800-327-5010, online, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, you too. You too. So, yeah. So no matter where you are, you guys call William Youngerman, and he can help you. Yeah, so the rallies are never going to stop. I'm sorry to tell you people. And, the one thing, though, these Republicans like Ted Cruz and Gates that are putting themselves in isolation, not exactly sure what that's all about. I'm starting to think with the self-isolation of Democrats going on here in Congress that it's almost kind of like a fad thing that's going on with these guys. You know what I mean? If they put themselves in isolation, they don't have to make a big deal about it. They can just do it. Who would miss their congressman? And it seems to me the ones that are putting themselves in isolation, they're the ones that are always on TV. Only a handful of congressmen are on TV all the time. My congressman's a Democrat. I haven't seen him on TV since the Parkland tragedy. He was on TV then because it was within his district. But if my congressman was gone for a year, I wouldn't even know it. And the ones that are making a big to-do about it, that they're going in self-isolation, are the ones that are kind of like, hey, listen, I love Matt Gaetz. We'll probably be voting for Matt Gaetz for governor here in Florida one day. Maybe even vice president or president one day. He's a great guy, okay? Nothing against Matt Gaetz. But there's a handful of members of Congress in both parties, Ted Cruz is one, Matt Gaetz is another, that are on TV all the time. There's a small handful, maybe about a dozen, 15 of them, they're always on TV, both parties. Very small percentage. And these just happen to be the ones making these big, huge announcements that they're going in self-isolation. There were a lot of people at CPAC. So why are the ones going into isolation these TV whore? I love Matt Gaetz. I don't mean to call him a TV whore. But the publicity whore, why are the publicity whore congressmen making these big announcements that they're going in isolation, and not all these other people at CPAC. How many people were at CPAC? I was not at CPAC. You know, so come on. You know, it's a lot of members of Congress. They're good people, but they got a lot of ego. They love publicity. They love publicity about them. They love being on TV. They love being talked about on TV. And what better way to be talked about on TV than to announce you were going into some type of self-isolation? Come on, give me a break. You know, and if it's a legit thing, okay, but do they have to make such a big announcement about it, which contributes to the fake news panic about it? You know, and I'm really... We were talking, I had a call from someone earlier about Fox News yesterday. Fox News backtracked quite a bit yesterday about the scaring they were doing over the weekend. Trish Regan, she's awesome. Let me see, do I have Trish Regan here? Let me see here. I thought I have Trish Regan. I do have it, but I don't have it queued up. Let me see if I can find Trish Regan. Yeah, here's Trish Regan, who's, you know, Trish Regan, though, she looks good. Don't misunderstand me. But she's had so much cosmetic work, it's hard to recognize her. If they didn't have her name on the screen, I wouldn't recognize her. She's had that much cosmetic work, and she looks about 20 years younger. It's almost like she's had a face transplant, Trish Regan, but she was right on the money last night. This is Trish Regan going off about what's going on here.
Over many in the liberal media using, and I mean using, coronavirus in an attempt to demonize and destroy the president. This is impeachment all over again. And like with the Mueller investigation, like with Ukraine Gate, they don't care who they hurt.
She is right on the money. Trish Regan could not be more correct than she was last night. Even with all that cosmetic work, she's still right on the money and clearly thinking about everything. Listen, my name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We're live at Morning Drive weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m. You can also listen to us midnight till 6 a.m. 7 nights a week. And what that means, weekdays, you can listen to The Steve Kane Show from midnight until 9 o'clock in the morning. That's a long time, huh? It is, I know. You can also listen to us on the iHeartRadio app and on the TuneIn app, searching for us by our station call letters, WWNN. Both our live show in the morning and the overnight rebroadcast you can hear on 4 radio stations. That's right, we are on 4 radio stations. 95.3 FM, 103.9 FM, 96.9 on the FM dial, and AM 1470. Those are our 4 radio stations that carry the show both live and the overnight rebroadcast, which is 7 nights a week. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be back live tomorrow at 6 a.m. Take care, and thanks for tuning in. All right, guys, you take care. Make sure you subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you all later, all right?